drink beer and sit by the fire. It's a good time.
That's the way it should be, man.
Yeah.
That's the way every antelope or deer camp should be.
Yeah.
It's just a good group of guys getting together to hang out. Elk season is for the grind.
Yeah.
And for the non-weak at heart and the guys that just want to go wreck their lives for a couple of weeks. Deer season and antelope should be just about hanging out and relaxing and having fun.
You get after it, but you can get 5 stocks in a day, antelope. And blow them all, but it's fun.
That's the best part about antelope, though.
Yeah, it's a good time. And then the e-bike changes the whole world now too.
Yeah,
out there especially because
because the side by sides are nice, but the e-bike because you could just kind of bomb anywhere, drop it in a ravine and walk. I mean, it's
and they're super quiet too. Just go ahead.
It's so fun.
Decoy to the front of every one of them and have 5 or 6 of you running around like you're your own little herd of antelope.
Like like you just put one on the front, 2 on the sides. Just like make it look.
There you go.
We tried to walk up like behind a moo cow, like and like.
Oh gosh, I had one of those big red moo cow ones too for a very long time, and I always
had an umbrella that you could pop out and it would look like an antelope.
Antelope fan.
Yeah, we
remember when those came out too.
We did one. He turned back. I crawled for a while. He blew out, and then we popped that one out. And he turned back, but he hung up still and didn't come all the way. But it like stopped him from going fucking 5 miles.
I've never been a fan of decoys because I feel like they always just added some element to everything that I already had to do.
Yeah.
And I really started using them this year after I became good friends with Danny Ferris from Ultimate Predator. And I was like, all right, let's give it a whirl and like let's really, really try. And the other day, so Christy has the archery tag. That's my fiance, the missus.
Okay.
For this plains buck. Well, I spotted 160 plus whitetail on public ground. She's never drawn her bow. Well, this was the first time she drew her bow on an animal. And we get in at 65 yards, and he's on a hot doe. Well, that doe pops me quick. She's like, oh, look, there's a coyote, because I'm like belly crawling through flat ground like you're talking about.
Yeah.
I immediately just throw that decoy up and get right behind it. And I get her behind me, and I just start working the ears, and that doe relaxes, and that buck just chills there at like 70 yards.
Yeah.
And she's a killer shot. I'm like, don't get me wrong, 70 yards on a whitetail's rough.
Yeah.
Because of the reaction time, but he doesn't care about me.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a mule deer decoy. He just thinks that I'm a doe. And at this point, I was like, there's no way this is going to work. So I have her scoot in front of me, and she gets to where she can come to full draw, and the buck's at 74 yards now. And literally, as I see her hit the wall and I see her get comfy, I watch the buck, and that doe kind of starts walking to the right, and the buck turns right as she... and it was this far in front of his brisket because he went to look at that doe.
And just give enough room to step right.
And I was like, that is a 74-yard shot, which is tough, especially on a whitetail.
Really tough.
Yeah.
That's a really tough.
But that was a 12-ringer dead buck all day on her first animal being a
first draw,
60-inch whitetail on public land. That decoy was the only reason that we...
With an awesome story, yeah.
The only reason we had the opportunity.
Really?
I had zero idea that it would work that well.
Yeah.
So then I started using it a lot because we have the doe tags.
Yeah.
Same thing. I've got does coming into 5 or 6 yards right now when we're in positions we don't want to be in.
Yeah.
I'm like,
because of the decoy?
Yeah. Like, let's see what we can do. They just get that curiosity factor to them. You know, you're in the right wind. They see something, you poke the ear up, give a little nudge, and you kind of drop back down. And then next thing you know, there's a white-tailed doe standing 4 yards from you when you're in the bottom of a canal. And you're like, oh, crap. It's been kind of fun.
Shoot that.
Yeah.
It's been really fun. But
I need to use the decoys more.
You definitely got to play with them.
Yeah.
And once you learn how to use them to your advantage, they're huge. It's way different. Just don't use it during muzzleloader season. People are dumb.
Right? Even if you're on private property.
It worries me so much.
Oh, hell no.
Robin Hood and Little John are walking through the forest, laughing back and forth at what the other has to say.
And so I think what we'll do, guys, is just, you guys have been listening. You just kind of, it's a cup of coffee, 6:30 a.m. on a Sunday. We've got Kaleb Bell in the Rucklist podcast studio, and we just been sitting here drinking coffee. We pushed record at some point during the conversation. We talked about some secret spots. Tyrel's going to go back, and he's going to find out where we can start this podcast.
Yeah.
Right after Kaleb gives us, some secrets. He didn't really give us much.
I got to edit you out a lot.
Me?
Yeah, you like to throw out locations and stuff.
Oh, do I?
You're like, where at?
I
Did you
know.
see that?
Well, I thought you were. I was talking about like, yeah, like my morning wood this morning or
Yeah.
whatever. I was like,
That's
maybe that's what
acceptable. I'll leave that.
acceptable that can stay on
Fans want that.
for the fans, for all four of you
All
listening
four,
out there
yep.
after having prostate cancer. Just happy to know
Happy.
things are working.
Happy that it was a happy morning.
Happy.
Hey.
It's happy morning.
It's just
Not allowed to use it. It's still in timeout.
It's still a mistake, but it's a little happy mistake.
Yeah, exactly. So, I thought that's what you were talking about. Was me talking about my diaper and
Oh, no.
that stuff.
No.
Locations. Yeah, that's a no.
Just over the history of us recording.
Yeah, I think me and who was it? It was an elk hunt conversation. I forget, but I kind of let on a little too much
I got your back
about
then.
Montana locations, I think.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
You're a big like you don't care though. You're kind of like I think your mentality is like it's just the world. Like
I kind of
anyone can go.
And when it's somebody else's, you got to be careful with it. I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't mind sharing some locations with some people. But I feel like now that we're doing a podcast, you have to be really careful because
I think the big one I've learned is like the other people. Because I kind of learned from you is like whatever. It's just like a place, like fishing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a river.
Yep.
Like if
Yeah.
you're there first, you're there first.
yeah,
And we'll go away. I don't know etiquette.
yeah.
So I would
That's how
never
it should
like
be.
do that.
That's how it should be. It's always tough on the hunting side too. But when you look at a state like Colorado where we have so much public land,
Yeah,
at the end of the day, and the bigger you get in the industry, or I should say the more vocal you are and the more
right.
front face you have, like for the Colorado Bowhunter Association, I meet
Right.
more people than I ever thought I would.
Yeah.
Well, I run into people in the woods that are like, hey, you're Kaleb with the CBA. And I'm like, God dang it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
is this where you shot that elk that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got on
yeah.
your Facebook page that I saw last year? I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that was actually hole 9 at Estes Park with a bladed
Yes.
4-iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the concern, right? Is you start to share a picture of a thing, and yeah, I guess that's where I've had to like kind of start to get careful, right?
And as people know you, they want to know, right?
Oh, yeah.
I remember it was like I don't even think I bought a bow yet, but we were at the outdoor show. And I was with Joel. He was talking to like the Phelps and Born and Raised guy.
Yeah.
And I just remember, and I kind of didn't know what they were talking about. And I was just kind of standing there happy. And he like walks away and he's like, I got him to tell me where, and it was like,
There was that like look.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And
Which is tough though. I mean, you look at a world where we're so connected. There's
Yeah.
conspiracy theorist in me, but
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
there's a reality.
We've
behind
all
that.
thought that though, right? You go, how hard would it be for somebody to go like, all right,
Mhm.
Tyrel shot a big bull I see on his Instagram.
Yep.
And it takes him 2 seconds to go, okay, let's go see what pins he dropped.
Or he's done that
On
for
what
2 or
day?
3 years. Let's go check it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Or here's his tracking. Here's his
Mhm.
mapping.
Yep.
Or and I mean, it sucks because there's such a bounty out on animals anymore.
Yeah.
You know, a big mule deer buck, a 200-inch buck, costs you $200,000.
Yeah.
If you got the money,
Yep.
Yeah.
you got the right people and the right people in
Yep.
place and looking for it. I mean, it's just pocket
Yep.
cash.
Absolutely.
It's tough, man. It's a weird world we live in.
That
now
is
for the
crazy.
world.
And the human nature, the competitiveness and the money,
Oh yeah.
it only goes up and to the right when it.
Oh yeah. When Cabela's is throwing checks out there for $300,000 for 200-inch mule deer all day long to mount on their wall,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Where do the
That's
ethics come into play?
Nuts. man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. An unfortunate little side to it, right?
Yep. So we got Kaleb Bell. Kaleb, you got introduced to me through the boys over at CBA, our Bowhunter Association. You are the what? What's your title over there now?
I guess you would consider it the president. I'm chairman of the organization.
Okay.
So
Big time.
I took that over early beginning of this year. So this is still
Yeah.
kind of my first year running with it.
Yeah.
Filled in some really big shoes. I don't know if anybody's familiar with good old Henry Ferguson, Big Chief Wackabuck.
Mm-hmm.
A phenomenal human being that kind of taught me a lot and I still look up to this day. But
Yeah.
huge set of shoes to walk in and
Yeah.
try to fill in for the CBA because he helped build the organization through what were arguably at that point the hardest legislative years that we've had to deal with in the hunting industry.
Yeah.
Granted, this year we've had a chance to take a little bit of a breath,
Yeah.
but with what's potentially coming down the pipeline after what's happened over the past 3 weeks, 26 could be another
Yeah, it could
nightmare.
be another
year.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's been fun. I really do love it. I love what we do at the CBA. We're a 100% volunteer organization, so nobody gets paid.
Yeah.
And that's probably the reason I love it the most. We
Yeah.
don't have any skin in the game other than we all care about what we do.
Yeah.
And I think there's this big misconception with us, and this is where I struggle, and I'm trying to get everybody to understand. Yes, we're about bow hunting, but we're about hunting. We're about outdoors.
Right.
We're about keeping public lands public. We're about having a guy being able to go snowshoe where they've snowshoed their entire life. That's
Yeah.
what we care about.
Yeah.
I don't care if you ever pick up a bow in your life. What I care about is we have the opportunity to do it.
Right.
And that is our primary focus right now. And it'll still be that way as we move through these legislative battles. But we're going to have to shift as we see what's coming down the pipeline in 2026. There could be some interesting ones.
How do you see other guys getting involved? You know, guys like Tyrel and I that, you know, we love it and want to support, but I think it depends on where people are at in their phase of life. He's got 2 really young kids and life is busy, right? And
Oh,
so
man.
everybody's at a different phase where what they've got, they might have money, they might have time, they might have their hands to offer. You know, how does everybody get involved, man?
The biggest thing for us is, and I know every organization says this, it's the membership side.
Yeah.
What sets us apart is having a voice. We've always been the boots on the ground group. We organize the Sportsman's Day at the Capitol. We organize all these events and we put these things together. And that's where we dive into it the most. But the only way for people to really get involved and help us out is to be a voice and understand. And that's where the membership side comes into play. And I don't want this to be a membership queue, but that's really
fine.
where it makes
I mean,
a difference.
We got to
Yeah.
hear it, I think, right?
Yeah.
Key?
If we've got 30,000 people that are listening to us and that are following what we're doing and they're paying attention to what we're putting out for legislative acts and what's happening and how we're communicating it, whether it's youth outreach, that's 30,000 people that have knowledge,
Right.
Yeah.
that are educated about what's happening in their state. And that's where the difference made, right? The whole wolf thing got pulled so fast over our eyes.
Yeah.
We are trying to fix that by educating everybody. So that's why the voice is so important. And that's why membership's so important.
Yeah.
The more members we have, the more voices we have, the more people are educated on what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, it's a pyramid scheme.
Yep.
It is. Yeah, it is. But you're right. It's numbers, right?
Yeah,
The
it's a
numbers are what
numbers
help
game.
you win and help you at least speak up for those numbers. I
That's
mean,
exactly it, right? I think we've got like 10,000 folks on social media between Facebook and Instagram.
mhm.
That's 10,000 people that we can tell what's going on,
Yes.
Yeah.
that we can connect with and be like,
Yeah.
hey, Murphy just stepped down. This is a big deal. Or, hey, this is what's going on in the state. Or, hey, we're doing a youth outreach program.
Yeah.
That's how we make a difference.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing to me.
Yeah. What are your kind of big? I know we've got a March 14th date coming up. I mean, I say coming up. It's December, 15th? It's our.
14th
Is it December 14th? That's right. It is. It's our little brother, or my little brother, your big brother's birthday. Today.
birthday.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Happy
pretend
birthday.
you didn't forget that, by the way.
Yeah. Exactly. He was at the last podcast we dropped was without him, right?
Yep. Yep. You
Yeah.
guys did one without me. Yeah.
I'm
Good.
sorry, T.
Couldn't be here.
Yeah.
Life's
Yeah,
crazy.
We all have work and we have lives, and that's why we're doing Sunday morning at 6:30 in here. And so,
Well, better time to
so-
talk with folks, though, than having coffee on a Sunday.
No, this is
Dude,
perfect.
This
Yeah,
is
that's
super
what it is.
chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Tyrel got a little weightlift in this morning next door here.
I did.
Do that
It was a little
wall.
late. but we got down.
We got the room in there, and I showed up out here, and I have my bagel, thinking everything's going to be chill, and then these guys are freaking sweating it up.
You're
So-
still rolling on the pre-workout for the
We're
morning.
getting out.
he's
Yeah.
fired up still. So, so December 14th, March 14th, you guys have a banquet. How do we support that, man? How does our crew support this?
We'll start throwing ticket sales and everything out here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Obviously, we do corporate sponsorships for the banquet.
So we'll get you a little ruckless table over there.
Oh heck yeah, that'd be
Okay.
fun.
Yeah,
It's
that'd be
pretty
fun.
cool though, and for
Yeah.
folks that have never been, it's kind of a different experience than just going to a normal banquet. You know,
Yeah.
over the past 3 years, we've given away, and I say given away $25,000 in bows,
Yeah.
physical bows to kids.
Yeah.
At
And
the
that's a
banquet.
little, are we letting that secret kind of out of the
Oh,
bag?
yeah. Like
Yeah.
I don't care. Like I want people to understand that we don't really care about anything other than giving back to the community.
Yeah. So if you
Yeah.
get a youngster, bring them, and
Who
they potentially, very likely get a free bow out of the deal.
Who knows what it might be?
Yeah.
Might be a free bow, but regardless of what it is, like we've got
Yeah.
400 plus animals that we put on display that back up the entire banquet all night long. Obviously, raffles and live auctions and dinner, and it's just a way that we can kind of give back to our members and give back to everybody in the state of Colorado and really showcase what we do.
Yeah.
You know, you guys just had Joe Bradley on here not too long ago,
Yeah.
and him and I talk a lot about the hunt.
Yeah.
The wall is awesome because we get to see the results of the hunt.
Right.
Yeah.
but the hunt is what is so important. And the banquet to us is a way to commemorate the hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. That's cool. That's a cool thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a thread that we all kind of want to pull on, because I think it does two things. I think it helps us understand our own hearts in the deal, and it helps us explain to other people why we do it. Because I think that as a hunter, it's easy to feel a little bit misunderstood.
Oh yeah.
A little bit, right? And you can feel people misunderstanding you, and you kind of want to go like, no, it's not about that. Like, I get that you see this elk behind me here, or I get that you see there's other stuff in the weight room, or the garage is full of crap, but it's not. I'm not doing it for that, right? That's just a way to remember the story for that, because when I see this bull, I can still remember seeing Jay peeking through the trees, you know what I mean? Looking at me going like,
yep,
over there, you know what I mean? And then I think about everything that came with it, that he passed this bull so that I could shoot it, because he was, he's like dad trying to get his boy into a bull, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And that's what you see when you see this. So yeah.
And it's hard though. Like, how do you describe that to people unless they're there with you? How do you connect emotionally with an individual that's not there in the moment? That's why I love writing so much. Writing is my outlet.
Yeah.
I love descriptive narratives. I love being able to pull things in and really like put you in the moment.
Yeah.
I want you to be able to smell that steaming pile of elk shit while you're drinking your coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
In New York reading the magazine.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want. That's the way that I connect with people. But you're hitting right there on the point. Like, we don't ever talk about the hunt itself or what we build during the hunt or how we experience the hunt. We don't talk about sitting around with your 4 daughters at the kitchen table with a deer splayed out and teaching them how to clear fasciitis off, how to separate muscle tissue, teaching them that this is feeding your family. We don't talk about that. People only see that we're shooting something.
Absolutely. How are the girls doing with that?
They love it to a degree. They're still kind of getting over the blood and gutty part of it, but they love the process.
Right.
Okay.
Like, they love cooking the meat that they saw and that they butchered.
Yeah.
They're still learning how to harvest an animal. And for me, like, if you can't connect with an animal, you shouldn't hunt them.
Yeah.
My girls aren't there yet. Like, they don't have that fascination with the animal. And yeah, I know it's going to take a long time, but I want them to cry over shooting a jackrabbit.
Yeah.
Like, I want them to understand what an animal is to the ecosystem to the point where whatever it is, they cry about.
Yeah.
Like, I think that is valuable. They need to understand that the squirrel is just as important as the bull elk.
Yeah.
And they're just not there yet.
Yeah.
They're tagging along on these hunts and they're loving it and they're having fun, but they're not ready to pull that trigger yet with that respect for the animal.
Yeah.
And who knows, that might never come.
Yeah.
And maybe they never want to be involved that way, which is fine. But I never want to see my girls get up to an animal and be like, okay, like, that's not what I want.
No.
I want to see them cry over everything because they're so connected into what we're doing and the experience. It's a hard thing to build.
It is.
I like that mentality though, because I was just thinking, like, on the flip side, you said if it never came, but like forcing someone into that situation, like, I think the opposite of that is, I like the idea of like letting them grow into that.
Yeah, that's the way it should be. They should build that national, like
giving it a timeline of like, you're ready for this.
Exactly.
And I've never kind of thought about that before.
Yeah.
I've always thought about just like, can't wait.
Can't wait, or their ability just to pull the trigger is your benchmark for readiness. And I think,
but really developing that emotional connection side of it.
when you have to, I'm thinking about like, you know, your kids are young, yours are a little older, Caleb, and it's this, the word rooted is in my head because I'm reading a book right now that's using that term a lot. But thinking about just almost how you have to, because we don't grow up rooted into, unless you grew up on a farm or a ranch and you're fully involved in the life cycle of an animal, you're not that. Like, your kids don't get it. You know what I mean?
They don't.
My kids didn't either. We didn't raise them, you know. I mean, you and I were a lot closer connected because we grew up rural, and so we saw that, right? You know, you had the pig, you fed the pig, you ate the pig, right?
Yep.
And so you saw that, but you know, I think you almost have to reroute your kids at your age, Tyrel, and go, it's actually, you have to go back out, you know, almost, and kind of reestablish and go, let's root, you know, into this environment, into nature, into this relationship with us and the squirrel and us and the tree and us and the the deer or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's not even really that point's not even about the hunting. It's about reconnecting to our relationship with the natural environment in that way, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how we fit into that, because I mean, at the grand scheme of things, we're just a small piece of what's happening.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, you talk about a mountain goat. A mountain goat lives at 13,000 feet for the majority of its life. And when we're sitting here in a nice, warm, heated garage, hanging out on a podcast, that mountain goat's with negative 40-degree weather, 50-mile-an-hour winds, blowing sideways
Little
snow.
tiny ankles. I always look at their little ankles and I go, how do those not get so cold?
Yeah, and here we are trying to put ourselves in their environment and survive and live the way that they do. Like, that is what it's about.
Yeah.
It's that connection with nature. And that's really what separates, I believe, a hunter from a killer.
Yes.
And that is a hard connotation for us as outdoorsmen and women to get past as a conservationist, because there is a lot of folks out there that they don't understand it as well as we do, or they do, but they don't know how to portray it.
At the very top where you can just be flown in by a helicopter, dropped in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shoot the biggest elk in whatever state and fly back out again.
Or if I just join the National Guard and I can go pick up sheds with a helicopter.
Over
That's pretty sweet.
No, I love it.
That's sweet.
It's you got to hunt a goat this year, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. That was kind of like my,
Because we were gonna like hook up.
yeah, we were going to hook up that
all
weekend.
of a sudden you're like, I got a tag, I'm gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
tell me the story. I want to hear the journey of that, because, you know, as guys are doing their notes about like, how do I go shoot? You know what I mean? How do I pull that tag? It wasn't just it was a return tag, but it wasn't like you just got on the leftover list. That's not how those tags work.
No, not at all. So the mountain goat this year was 100% surprise to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I'd already been through archery season, chased elk, chased deer, and all said and done. And mountain goat rifle season already started at this point.
Yeah.
I got a phone call from the Division of Wildlife that said, hey, somebody turned in a tag and you're next in line. And I'm like, what mountain goat tag did I put in for? Thinking, I'm like, I put in for all these random ones just to see if I'll
Every
get
year
lucky.
we do.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, like I look through Go Hunt and I check the odds on Go Hunt and I look at a bunch of years past running experience and say, oh, well, this year I've got like a 70% chance with my points. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in for that unit, whatever unit that is.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing. And I'm like, okay, what tag is it? Third rifle. Third rifle. That started like 3 days ago. They're like, yeah, somebody turned in a mountain goat tag 3 days into the season. And I'm looking at the calendar and it's a Wednesday, which means I would have
until Sunday probably.
I have Thursday and Friday to hunt because you can't hunt during the weekend.
Oh crap!
It's one of those weekday only hunts. I've got meetings Monday, Tuesday
Yeah.
that I can't miss for work. So I'm looking at them like I could maybe leave Tuesday afternoon and then I could hunt Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
You have 5 days to kill.
Yeah, like 4 days on the ground to potentially kill a once-in-a-lifetime tag in the state of Colorado. I wouldn't say it's a once-in-a-lifetime tag. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity
Yeah.
in Colorado.
Yeah.
And with the potential big game changes that we're going to make in 2028, I knew I had to do it. Like, just had to. I made a couple phone calls, and it was luckily in a unit that I'd helped one of my really good buddies out on a goat hunt a couple years before that. So I had a rough idea where to go, which was kind of nice. Like, it wasn't just going into the wind.
Yeah.
But for me, had I drawn that tag on a normal basis, I just spent the entire summer on the mountain living with them.
Yeah.
Like, that is the hunt that I talk about, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's the part of hunting that I love is building
and that's
that
kind of the
relationship.
bummer of like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like if somebody surprises you with a vacation where like half of the fun of vacation is dreaming about going on the vacation, right?
So I almost kind of
That's
felt
half the-
robbed a
that's-
little bit.
Yeah, you would be robbed, I think, because that's part of it. Like, I've got a moose Alaska hunt that like I've been thinking about for 3 years, you know, knowing it. So it's kind of fun to kind of like watch videos and think I might be that guy. Well, I'm gonna hopefully be that guy in that same Brooks Range area, and you know, that whole idea.
Exactly. It's just like we were talking about. The hunt is the most important part to me. So I feel like I kind of missed out on a lot of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, this is a hunt that every Colorado guy that loves to hunt dreams of. So I've already been living
Just
it for
because
the
you're up on
past-
the top, man, you're just falling on rocks.
I've been living in this for the past
White
15 years
donuts
of
over
life.
the distance. Yeah.
So I mean, there's a little bit of that behind it, and I felt a little bad that I only had 3 days to do something that I would spend the entire summer preparing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you also have to jump on an opportunity.
yeah, like
Like,
there's no guarantee that I would draw this tag next
Yeah.
year. It's still a lottery system. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you have 30 points or 4 points. You know,
Yep.
Uh-huh.
exactly.
it's still a lottery. So I was like,
Right.
well, send it. Let's see if I
Do
can
it.
make it happen
Yeah.
and see if I can push some of these meetings at work and go get it and see what happens. So I get up on the mountain that Tuesday afternoon, and on the way to my camp, I glassed a different mountainside, and there are 20 goats on that side of the mountain. I was like, oh, yeah, perfect. There's a chance they could go where I need them to.
Uh-huh.
But I thought they were in the wrong unit. So I'd get all the way to my camp, set up camp, and I hike 4 miles back in. It's like 20 degrees. It's colder than cold and just icy and nasty and
Mhm.
windy and ugly.
Nice.
What you'd expect to be on a mountain
Yeah.
goat hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see a dang thing that night. Super bummed out because this was the basin that I was like putting all my eggs in my basket, knowing
Yeah.
this is where they are. So nothing that night. Get back to camp, hang out, make a whiskey, have a good night, enjoy my first night at
Mhm.
mountain goat camp. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, here we go. This
Mhm.
is where it's at.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of nice because up
Do you
there.
have anybody with you on the trip?
No, I didn't have anybody that was able to go.
Oh.
But the cool thing is I'm a backcountry guy, so I'm always used to just carrying camp on my back. Well,
Yeah.
these places I can have an actual tent. So I
Yeah,
got my
that's true.
canvas tent set up down
Yeah.
in the bottom. I've got a wood stove.
Yeah.
You know, I've got like
Living it.
nice food, and I'm
Yeah.
still over here eating peak refuels. But
'Cause they're good. They're delicious, dude.
I've got like elk steaks sitting over here. I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna
But you
crack
got
that shit.
stroganoff, yeah. Let's just
Here we
eat
go,
it,
send
yeah.
it. But so I wake up that next morning. I did the exact same thing. I hiked into the base of the mountain, and it was like 12:08 is where I get
Yeah.
to, like 2 hours before daylight. I'm like, all right, here it is. The daylight happens. I'm ready to shoot me a big white fluffy pillow.
Yep.
And daylight pops, and there isn't a thing around me. Like, it is just ghost town. I see people hiking 14ers up around me, and I'm like, you guys are insane. It's 4 degrees this morning,
Yeah.
and there's a 40-mile-an-hour wind on top of that mountain, and you're just up there in a Patagonia jacket.
Yep.
And I'm over here like,
Yeah.
I've got a bow on my back. I've got a
Yeah.
rifle on my back. I've got
Yeah.
all my camera gear. So I got 40 pounds worth of
Yeah.
junk on my back.
For sure.
And I'm sitting there and I'm not seeing anything. I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I got to figure out another game plan where these goats are at. So I jump back on my Onyx, and I made a mistake on Tuesday. I didn't hit my little realign thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So
The-
you were a mountain off of where you thought you were.
Yep. The goats were like a mile into my unit that I'd spotted the day before. So
Okay.
I could have spent that entire day Tuesday getting in on my goat.
Yeah.
So I literally shoved all my crap in my pack, hiked out as fast as I could, and it's only like 7:30 in the morning, like just
Yeah.
daylight, and
Yeah.
well, there's no mountain goats,
Yeah.
can't see anything.
Yeah.
So I hiked back down, get back down to the truck, drive an hour back around. I get back to where I'd spotted those goats from the day before.
And just left camp set up where it
Oh yeah,
was.
just left camp,
Yeah.
said screw it, whatever. Here we go. I get over there and boom, 20 minutes, 20 goats. Right
Yeah.
there on the side of the mountain, and I check everything. I'm like, God, you're an idiot. If you would have just taken the time, this already would have been done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I look and I click. I'm like, all right, here we go. Send it. And I get up there, and I mean, literally
How far was the hike from where you spotted them? To where you,
maybe 1,500 yards.
oh, wow.
I mean, it wasn't a bad hike at all.
Mile,
It
yeah.
was just nasty uphill,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
super
yeah.
nasty uphill. It
Yeah.
took me 2 hours to go
Yeah.
1,500 yards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's hand over fist.
Now goats, they're not moving a ton though, right? I mean, they do, of course, but like you spot them there, you don't
Yeah.
have to like.
It's not like an elk where at
Like an elk,
1,500
you're like-
yards, they're going to be another 1,500 yards.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting at. Is like you spot an elk and you got 1,500 yards to go. It's like you're probably not going to
Yeah,
get on.
you might as well just wait till the next day if
Yeah.
you see an elk
Yeah.
at 1,500. No, like at that point, the goats were kind of moving to where they were just kind of hanging out in the sunshine, and they'd bedded.
Licking rocks or whatever the hell they eat up there. I don't know
I
what
think they literally licked dirt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, like licked dirt.
yeah. No, there's a little salt.
It's
in that one.
impressive, but
Oh yeah.
makes you wonder,
Oh,
what are
yeah.
you doing up there?
Yeah, like, what are you doing up there, elk? So I get in there, and I get 400 yards. I'm like, okay. Well, Joe Bradley, because he's my buddy, and you know, whatever. I'm calling Joe Bradley, and I'm like, man, I should have brought my bow, because at this point, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, they're in a pretty crappy spot. I'm just going to bring a rifle. There's no way I'm going to get into archery distance on this goat. So I left my bow back at the truck, carried all my camera gear.
Yeah.
I get up there, and I'm 400 yards. I'm like, I can get closer.
Yeah.
There's no way I can't get closer. Next thing you know, I'm 200 yards. And then I'm like, well, I can get closer. There's no way I can't get closer. Next thing you know, I'm 120 yards. Well, I can get closer. There's no, let's get closer and just make sure that it's what I'm trying to shoot. Like,
Yeah.
why not? 60 yards
With no bow.
with no bow and a rifle.
Oh.
And I'm sitting there and I'm looking back at my truck and I'm like, I still have 2 days in this hunt. Like maybe I could
Yeah.
just run back down the mountain. Like the goats aren't scared, but what if? Like what if? So I ended up shooting my goat at like 70 yards. with a rifle, which is super cool. And it's just this crazy, awesome, amazing
Awesome.
experience.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But
that's
that little bit in me is like,
You probably
man,
had some time to get good footage and stuff too, huh?
oh yeah,
Camera stuff.
great footage.
Yeah.
Little kits running around everywhere. Like it was
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
It was so cool. I ended up shooting a nanny. So it was a nanny tag, not a billy tag.
yeah.
And she was 48 inches overall. It was 48, like a
That's
big nanny,
pretty damn good.
like a great nanny.
Awesome.
But I end up taking
Yeah.
the shot at 70, and everything just scatters everywhere, and I have
Yeah.
no idea. And honestly, like you can't tell the difference. Like they all look like mountain goats until
Oh,
you see a
dude.
red
I
spot.
was just going to
Yeah.
ask you, like, that's tough. I mean, I've looked and looked and looked at pictures.
It's
and
tough.
I couldn't tell you. You know what I mean?
Luckily, like I love mountain goats, and I spent a lot of time looking at them, so I was really confident that it was a nanny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
confident in what
And
I was
it's
shooting.
sort of like some hump on the back kind of stuff and
Yeah,
eye
like
position
Billy's,
around the.
Billy's will have more of a hump like a camel, or it's
Uh-huh.
like a little buffalo, if you would.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you look at the actual horns themselves, and you can usually tell the difference. A narrower base,
Yeah.
thinner horns, a little bit longer, more of a curve at the top rather than gradual curve.
Uh-huh.
Like there's ways that you can tell. So I was pretty confident that what I shot was a nanny. But I won't lie to you that after I pulled the trigger, the first thing that went to my mind is, my God, I hope this is a nanny.
Please, Jesus, let that
Please.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
For
never
sure.
been so excited to see.
Yeah.
You're like pulling up the table.
Oh,
Like,
like,
can hear you.
can't tell what's happening, right? Like I take the shot and they all just go everywhere.
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
no idea what's going on, what they're doing, and it's just all a bunch of fluffy white pillows
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there as a hunter, like I want to make sure I have an ethical secondary shot if I have to. They're tough. Like they
Totally.
are tough creatures.
And figuring out where your kill shot is tough too, because it's like so much
Everything
hair.
looks the same.
Yeah.
Everything looks the same.
Yeah.
And depending on the angle, obviously, and
And
everything.
at 70 yards, all you're seeing is like
Hair.
fur.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Hair. And it was fun though. Like that whole time frame, I'm just kind of worried about what was happening. But then they ran off like 100 yards, and two of them stopped, turned around, and looked at me, but they were looking off the hill down to the bottom. I was like, okay, so they're wondering what's going on with that other goat. Like that goat is making moves.
Yeah.
So it took me another 45 minutes just to get that extra 100, 150 yards to where I saw those two goats looking down the mountain. Just nasty, steep
Yeah.
hillslide kind of crap. Well, everybody talks about a mountain goat dying in the worst position possible.
Yeah.
Like they don't die in good spots.
No.
Well, I got very lucky. My goat found the one bowl, like the one little bit of a round spot on the side of the mountain,
Nice.
and laid out perfectly, so I didn't have to go do some crazy recovery.
Uh-huh.
But walking up on that animal, like we were just talking about, like a mountain goat lives at 13,000 feet in the worst conditions ever. And I walk up on that animal and immediately just let it all loose. Like tears are flowing everywhere.
Yeah. You're alone.
You're by yourself. You're
Oh,
looking
yeah.
around and you're like, this son of a gun lives up here all year long, and I just beat it at its game.
Yeah.
Like I overcame nature in this situation.
Yeah.
And that's what I live for, is that not really the result of that, but like knowing that I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that I can survive up here if I needed to, knowing that I can make this happen. And like you said too, though, that was the most nerve-wracking 20-yard closure.
Oh,
Walking
God,
up to
I
that
bet.
sucker, like sitting there sweating bullets, like, oh my gosh, please let there be. Are we allowed to say vagina on here?
Let her
I said
rip.
morning.
You say whatever.
Fair.
Yeah.
Never been so excited to be a vagina on an animal in my life, right? Like, that's
Please.
yeah. So I walk up on that goat and I'm looking at it, and it takes you a minute to realize what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I called Christy, the fiance, and then I called Joe Bradley. I put him on FaceTime. I was like, hey, dude, guess what? And he's like, you didn't bring your bow, did you? I didn't even get out that I'd shot an animal. And he's like, you didn't bring your bow, huh?
Oh, no
And
way.
I'm like, Joe, shut up.
He like
Yes, I
knew,
shot-
like
oh,
his
yeah.
spidey senses
Yeah,
knew.
his spidey senses
Yeah.
were tingling. I was like,
Yeah.
Joe, you're an asshole. But no, I
Yeah.
didn't. And I shot it with a gun. He's like, well, I hate you, but that's awesome. But yeah, dude, that was one of the coolest experiences. And who knows if I'll ever get to do it again.
Yeah.
Unless I go to Alaska or Canada or something. But that moment of like putting your hands on that animal and seeing that goat up close and personal.
Yes.
And then we hike around that stuff all the time. Like
Yeah.
we do. Honestly,
Yep.
we spend so much time, even in the elk woods,
Yep.
half goat woods.
Yep.
Yeah.
But sitting there and like kind of sitting back and looking at it and realizing what I just did and everything that I just saw and experienced,
Yeah.
it was so short and it was super quick, but it still didn't take away from the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of surreal still thinking about it. And it's the
Well,
best meat I've ever had in my life.
Is it really?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal.
So
Shit,
Phenomenal.
licking all those rocks makes them tasty, huh?
Apparently it's the minerals.
Apparently, dude.
That's a note to all you folks out there.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't take multivitamins if you're hunting grizzly country. They won't eat you, apparently. It's crap. But I don't know why, but it is the best meat that I've ever
That's
had.
awesome.
Best I've ever had. Right up there with mountain lion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Mountain lion is.
Yeah. Mountain
He's up
line's
there.
delicious.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
And
goes
you
the same way.
would not think it. Like,
that's
I had
fun.
a buddy give me mountain lion meatballs, and I was like, ugh. you know, like the first time, and I'm like, take the toothpick. I'm like, I guess so, bud.
Yeah, like
And I was like, I'm gonna eat this whole damn thing. Is it like a
Yep.
potluck?
Like a
I'm
big
"These are
Garfield."
all mine. I'll eat them all. You
Yep.
know? Yeah. Dude, as you're telling
Dude,
that
that's fun.
story, like I'm sitting here just like we're coming into the first of the year, you know, backcountry hunting's done. And I'm just like missing it so much. You know, like lamenting over we've got a whole nother summer to get through before we can go back up into those woods and hunt
Oh, yeah.
something again. And just, you know, as you talked about, like, you know, we're up there with those goats during like especially elk season. It's like how much I love being up in those elk woods, man.
And that's the thing too, right? Like everybody thinks that we just go up there to shoot an animal, but people don't realize how much we love.
That's not
just
what I daydream
being
about.
up there.
It's not a daydream is never, me and Adam talked about it last week. It's never about, oh, I can't wait to hold more antlers. It's just
Yeah,
like,
no.
I can't wait to suffer with some buddies getting up that ridge and just like we get to the top, that drink of water,
Yep.
even like the wind
taking
at the top.
pack off, you know what I mean? Waiting for the sun to rise and see if
Yep.
you see anything on a hillside. And like, dude, it scares me to think about like, I know I've got quite a few left, but like, you know, like not enough. You know,
never
what I mean?
know though. Like
You don't
life can hit you fast.
You
know?
absolutely
Yeah.
don't know.
You and I both had some stuff happen this year that
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
life could have come quick.
Dude, it's yeah. I mean, it's like to hear like you got cancer, you know, like
Yeah.
you're like shit, you know, like, and it's not just about like, are we gonna how long will I live? But it's, I mean, it takes a monumental effort to get up there,
Yeah.
right? And so it's not just about living long enough. It's like having the vitality long enough to get up there.
And what's tough too, I mean, for those guys that are really used to going in deep or having fun and
Yeah.
enjoying it, like you hit that point where you can't do what you normally would.
Yeah,
And a mile in, you're like, man, like, can I do it?
I don't know if I got this yet.
Yeah. You
Yep.
know, and you start thinking about it and then you start doubting yourself and then you start to kind of miss out and enjoy the parts that you love so much.
Yeah.
It's like it's being taken away from you.
Yeah.
You know, we had a lot of that this year, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where we were talking. I was just, yeah, that daydream of just, I can't
Yeah,
wait to get back up in those woods,
Yeah.
man.
we've been like really windy
Yeah.
this last week.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
But then it's like just hearing it. It's like, oh, I'd just go for some wind on top of a mountain though.
Yeah.
I would
if you're
sit
up
in that
there,
right
it's
now.
different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can suffer through that for sure.
Just
I'd kill for a stiff wind in my face right now
Yeah.
with 300 dead elk in the,
yeah,
in the glass. And
yeah,
yeah,
I'd kill for that, right?
Yeah.
30 mile an hour and 40 degrees and
Oh.
blowing snow sideways.
absolutely.
yeah.
I'm in as long as there's an animal over there I get to look at.
Yeah, you don't get nearly as cold.
Or I got a hot cup of coffee that I just made in the morning with
Yep.
the jet bowl.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a whole different ballgame.
Yep.
man. And those are the moments we talk about the hunt. Like
Yeah.
that's part of the hunt. Those are the things that you
Yeah.
live for.
I gotta quit the daydreaming and get back to the podcasting, I guess, huh?
I mean, isn't that
Yeah.
just what podcasting is?
It is just daydreaming. It is exactly that. Like and that's just it. Like even hunting in general is, you know, Adam and I think I forget. You know, it's interesting because I feel like I repeat myself a lot, but the truth is the truth, I suppose. But like it's hunting for me is like getting around a bunch of dudes and having the ability to get together and just dream a little bit, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because so few people do that anyway. Like so rarely do guys get together and talk about dreams, right? Or this thing that we want to, like this adventure we want to go on or
Oh, yeah.
whatever. It's so often like Broncos are playing the Packers today. They'll talk about somebody else's dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, you know, a new truck or whatever other bullshit work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how's work? How's working the kids? You know what I mean? It's like, but none of that is actually dreaming. You know, it's not that. I mean, kids a little bit, but for the most part, that's not what they're asking. They're not asking you about your daydreams around, you know, what's your son going to be someday? They're not having that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's so, you know, it's so often just the what's the struggle today? You know, is what they're really asking you. And it's good to share that too. But I also think that, like, you know, I heard somebody say a long time ago, if your past is greater than your future, you're dead. Right.
Yeah. Yep.
And so I think it's like this this part, hunting is one thing in our life that helps us create like a compelling future, right? A compelling story that lives out in front of us that we want to go experience, right? And I think that's what it does so much for me. So as you're talking, I start doing my own daydreaming and just knowing, and then in my head kind of goes like, yeah, nanny, like your odds are quite a bit better to draw a nanny tag than it is
Yeah.
Billy tag.
You have way better odds of drawing a nanny
Yeah.
than you do a Billy.
Yeah.
And like I said, in the state of Colorado, you're not talking about a once in a lifetime tag. You're talking
With a
about a
nanny.
once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
Or with a Billy, for that matter, in my opinion.
Really, can you draw more than one Billy tag? Theoretically,
No, not in Colorado.
not in Colorado.
Potentially after the move in 2028. But I mean, if you're wanting a once in a lifetime, to me, a once in a lifetime animal is a once in a lifetime animal.
Yes, understood.
Let's
I
go
get
to
that.
Alaska and let's
Yeah.
hunt a Billy that is a monster.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
freak
yeah,
of
yeah,
nature.
yeah.
In Colorado, you're talking about a once in a lifetime opportunity of an experience to hunt that animal in Colorado.
Yeah,
But we could go somewhere else and we could actually hunt that animal and probably hunt a more mature version of that animal if that's really what you're trying to do.
yeah,
In Colorado, it's the experience and saying that you're able to do it.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's why I'm trying to differentiate the two between myself, because, you know, like I'm just going to have an extra 20 grand to go buy a Billy tag in Alaska or Canada.
Dude.
But, you know, a guy can dream.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
exactly. It'd probably be easier just to go get your outfitter's license and put in the whatever it
Probably.
is, 80 or 120 days you have to put into.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's just, gosh, it's so expensive to go
it is.
up there and hunt, man.
That's what's kind of sucks about the hunting industry in general anymore. Is it's definitely, I wouldn't say privatized, but the monetary aspect behind it makes it
For
tough.
sure. Dude, and what's crazy with like our Alaska moose tag, the company put the deposit in, they had a great reputation. And then they sold.
Ooh.
So they sold like kind of right after we put our deposits in. And we're doing a self-guided, so they're just flying us in and giving us boats. We're going to float down the river, but they sold. And then now like the reviews the last couple of years with new ownership has kind of been shitty, you know? And so now we're looking at it going, we've asked them twice, like, can we just get our deposit back? Like, we just want to, we'll do it ourselves. We'll figure something else out. And they're like, no, you're
locked
stuck
in.
with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though when we put the deposit in, actually, I think 3 or 4 years ago, it was like, I think $6,000 or $7,000 for just that guide, a self-guided moose hunt. And now it's like 18, you know? So I figured they'd be like, sure, we can sell a slot, but I don't think it works that way. They probably,
They're locked into a tag and they're excited and they just want to bring it on and get it over with.
yep, they've already sold it. So don't want to sell it again. So we'll figure it out. And it'll, to me, it'll be amazing either way.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
I don't know any
Yeah.
better ultimately. But yeah, it has gotten so expensive, man.
And that's one of those things I try to push people to understand too. The preference point system in Colorado is awesome, right? Because you're building points and an opportunity. But if you truly want to go do some of these hunts that you're like, yeah, I want to go hunt a moose.
Yeah.
$50 a year for 30 years
Yeah.
before you draw a tag. And some people draw it sooner,
Yeah.
some people don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
I could take that $50.
Yep.
I could put it into a DIY moose hunt and I'd be 3/4 of the way there being
Yeah.
dropped
Yeah.
off in the Alaskan bush
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
on an experience.
That's exactly actually.
Yeah.
Like we pulled that cow moose hide out of
Yep.
here. And I made that decision 3 years ago. I was like, there's a really, really, really slim chance. I had 6 points, you know, at 43, you know, and I'm like, I got 20 more years. I'll be 50, 63, pushing on 70. Probably still haven't drawn a moose tag. Or, you know, every 6 years I can go shoot a cow moose.
Yeah.
The meat to me is the best. I mean, I know
Oh.
you said that goat's good, but like a cow moose is amazing as well. And so every 6 years I get to have that experience,
Yep.
you know, and I get great meat and I get to do that. And then I'll just go to Alaska.
Save up the money. Like
Yeah.
just save
Yeah.
a little bit of money here and there. You know, cut out the Starbucks cup of coffee or
Dude,
whatever it might be.
if
and
you
next thing
want it,
know-
you'll get it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
If
Yeah.
you want it, you will get it. I think that's the other thing that separates a
Yeah.
lot of hunters in the backwoods or anywhere in general. Like what we want, we are going to achieve.
Yeah.
Sometimes the results aren't going to necessarily be what you want. And that's kind of the way
Right.
that my season went this year. I don't know how you guys' experiences were.
We're going to
but
get into that. Yeah.
like-
if you want to talk about heartbreak, then we can
Yeah,
talk about heartbreak.
we can always
with you.
talk about heartbreak. It's
Yeah.
part of hunting. But honestly, I think it's one of the most important parts of hunting.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
you hear a lot in archery specifically, even though crossbows are usually worse than archery. Everybody talks about archery hunters making unethical shots and then shooting a secondary animal,
Mm,
or not finding an animal and shooting a secondary animal.
yeah.
And I think it's one of the hardest topics to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the CBA and being the chairman for the CBA. When I talk about it,
Yeah.
people have a tendency to be like, oh, really? What do you mean?
Right.
And I'm like, well, as an archer, as a person that cares more about the animal than I do anything, I have to do what's right.
Yeah.
you have to do right by the animal. You know, this year I got a chance to shoot a really, really great buck in velvet. You know, I'm the guy that I go out there, and I've been very fortunate in my life. I've harvested some really good animals.
Yeah.
So I like to fall in love with an animal and hunt that animal. It's good and it's bad.
Yeah.
Because I can spend 30 days hunting that same animal and pass up another 20
Yep.
and go with eat and tag soup
Yeah.
and then cry when it's all said and done. Or I can spend 30 days hunting that animal,
Yeah.
kill that animal, and still cry when it's done.
Yeah.
The result's the same.
Yep.
Right.
But, you know, I had a great opportunity to really, really good buck. He ducked my arrow at 45 yards, and I put one into no man's land. And this is 7 days into the season. I still have 20 days left that I can hunt for deer. And I spent that entire day looking for that buck, spent the next 2 weeks looking for that deer, and wasn't going to shoot another one until I knew what happened with that deer, whether I found him rotting, dead,
Yeah.
or alive on his feet and running.
Right.
I was not going to do anything until I found that deer.
Yeah.
So that's where we run into that ethical conversation with archers. Like, what would you do in that situation?
Yep.
And I like to talk to people about that. You know, a lot of guys, if they don't find him after a day, they're going to knock another arrow.
Oh yeah.
100%.
And that's where you have to really step back and think about who you are as a conservationist. And I'm not knocking on anybody that does that. You all have your own reasons. You
Yep.
do anything the way you want. But for me, it's about that animal and doing right by that animal. Whether it's a squirrel, rabbit, doe, whatever it is, I took a chance at taking that animal's life. Like, it potentially gave its life so I could live, so I
Yeah.
could sustain my
Yeah.
own.
Yeah.
So spending 2-3 weeks looking for an animal doesn't faze me at all until I find it alive. It just so happened to take me 2 weeks before I found that buck again.
Really. And he was walking.
Oh, he was.
Everybody says this. Always everybody says this. They're so tough. But dude,
They're so tough.
Freaking tough, dude.
And the terrain they're in too, you factor that in. I'm not talking about hunting lowland.
Yeah, they're not
Plains
laying low
deer.
like by a river and just licking their wounds, right? It's
I shot this deer at 11,000 feet. When I found him 2 weeks later, he was at 12.5 with 14 other bucks
Yeah.
running around like nothing had happened.
Yeah.
You know,
yep.
it's not like
It's
he was laid
nuts.
up in a hospital healing himself down in a creek bottom.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
living in the most rugged terrain possible and
Right.
surviving and
Yeah.
thriving.
Yeah.
Crazy part is when I found that buck, and I've got some really cool footage of this, he was being harassed by a golden eagle.
Shit.
So they were on top of this clip face. And this is the stuff that you always hear about, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll show you guys some video, but you always hear people talking about this or see it on National Discovery. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I had moved up the hill because I'd spotted my target bull, which we'll talk about that in a
Oh.
minute too. I'd only seen that target bull once alive on his feet during season. And then I bailed and then went after the buck because it was the same day that I found the deer. Well, when I found that buck 2 weeks later, last part of that season, getting into position, and I look up and there's 6 or 7 deer way up above me, like another 1,000 yards up on top of the ridge. And it's like a 45, 50 degree angle, like slope to get up to where they're at. It's just nasty, steep stuff. It's where I like to hunt. Well, I couldn't figure out what was going on because there's that buck. Like, I haven't seen him in 2 weeks. There he is. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. But he was just running in circles. And I couldn't figure out why the heck he was running in circles. I was like, what the hell's going on right now? Well, I keep watching, and there was a couple smaller deer with him. And then all of a sudden, over top of this cliff comes this massive golden eagle. And he swoops down and grabs one of the 3 points, like one of the smaller bucks, by the butt and picks the butt off the ground. And I
This is
mean,
awesome.
this eagle wingspan from nose to tip was bigger than some of the deer that were in that group.
Yeah.
Just massive. Well, I started watching a little bit more for about an hour. And then I realized what he was doing. He was pushing him towards this cliff. And he was trying to kick one of the deer off the cliff. Never seen that before in my life. One of
Yeah,
the
you hear about it,
coolest
but you never
things
see it.
Yeah.
I've seen it, yeah.
ever. Absolutely insane. That was pretty wicked.
Just massive. Strategically trying to move him around.
Yeah, just trying
Just
to
to
kick
come
him.
in and out.
Like, leave me alone, leave me alone.
Yeah.
And he knew if he got one close enough, he could just go push it.
Yeah, literally
You
just
get
push
their
it.
butts off the ground.
Just push them off a cliff. The coolest thing ever.
And dude, that's not the
Just
first
the
time
pure
he's done
size of him. I
it.
mean,
He's
oh,
done
yeah.
that before.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah,
know he's
Like
done
you
it.
know he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Holy shit.
Well, and what's crazy is I've hunted this area a lot, and I've never seen anything like that. But in the process of so I decided I was going to move in on that buck
Yeah.
because I couldn't figure out where the bull went. So I went up on that buck, and in the process, I hit a couple avalanche chutes that I'd never really explored.
Okay.
And they were super nasty, really steep stuff that I didn't really ever want to be in. But I found fawns left and right, like just skulls of deer, fawns in these little cliffed out areas. So
This
know
eagle's
this,
been eating.
like he's been
Yeah.
doing this for year after year. So that was kind of a cool
That
experience.
is so badass.
Wild.
Super badass.
Yeah.
Then it just gets cooler. I cut the distance to less than 400 yards from where the bucks were bedded.
Yeah.
And I turn around and take a break because I'm dying. Like this hill is just wrecking me.
Yeah.
We talk about what happened earlier in the year, and I can dump into that. But I tore a bunch of tendons and ligaments in my foot, and
Yeah.
they
Yep.
essentially cut 2 of my toes off, moved the bones out of the way, and then reattached my tendons, and then plated my toes back. So I was hunting in tennis shoes,
Yeah.
and I'm 3 months out of being out of surgery.
3 months post-op,
Yeah,
climbing him out.
not supposed to be doing this. And you
Well-
actually had the same doctor I did, Doctor.
Oh, really? Stiff? Yeah.
And he's
but
like-
he's a hunter.
He is, and
So
he
he gets
understood.
it. Yeah.
But he's like,
I sent him a picture of my bull this year. I said, thank you. I need to take some meat. Yeah.
That's cool.
But keep going. Cause 3 months out, I wouldn't have been doing
That's
anything.
crazy.
I was barely out of it. You know what I mean?
Well, it was stupid, right? Like
Yeah,
these are
super
mountains that I
dumb.
used to be able to run up and down, and I'd be okay. But now,
Yeah.
like, I'm
Yeah.
walking sticks. I am
Yeah.
hurting.
Every step you're like, please don't. Yeah.
I can't feel my foot. I broke one of my toes on the foot that I had surgery
Oh,
on
dear.
because I couldn't feel my feet.
Oh no.
I was stupid. Like it was dumb, right? Shouldn't have been up there doing it, but I wasn't
Awesome.
gonna not do it.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
guy. Like I got bravado. Like here we go.
Sure.
Let that be a lesson, guys. Get your shit checked out.
Yep.
Take care of
Yep.
yourself.
Take care of yourself,
Yep.
please.
But anyways, so I get up there like 400 yards from that buck.
Yeah.
And I'm working my way in. The wind's right. Everything's good. The eagle's kind of gone off, and I can see their antlers just kind of over some of the rocks where they're bedded.
Right.
And I was going to make a big circle and get up on top of them and send it.
Oh,
Well, I turn around and I look down. I'm like, there's no way that's what I think it is. And then I grab my binos, and about 700 yards below me is that bull. And he's laying just in the wide open, laying in the aspens because now I can see down in everything because it's
Yeah.
a hill.
yeah.
He's just laying there in the aspens, and he'd actually went below me and circled where I'd came up the mountain, went below me with his cows, and then had moved further off to the east, and I didn't realize it. So now I'm torn.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Dude.
here's my target
yes.
buck. I know he's alive. I made a bad shot. Do I go after that buck that I know is alive and moving? Or do I drop the elevation and go after the bull that I've only seen alive once?
I'd go after the bull.
Yep. So
I'd go after the bull. I feel like mule deer, like
I don't know what I would do.
you can come back to that hill tomorrow, and there's a chance that mule's going to be there.
that was my exact thought, is like that buck
But that
has
buck-
lived there.
I mean, the buck could be there, that bull. They're
Who
so
knows?
unpredictable.
And it's
Yeah.
prime rut, right? Like
Yeah.
bulls are ripping and screaming everywhere.
Yeah.
So my thought was the same thing.
Yeah.
That buck's been living on that mountain range since before everything happened. I
Yep.
shot him,
Yep. And he went
and
right back
he's
there.
right back there.
Yep.
Like, I'll find him again.
Yep.
Whatever. So I dropped the elevation.
That is downhill.
Yeah.
That you get to go
Super
downhill
downhill.
instead of uphill.
Super
Yeah.
downhill. Granted, it was really sketchy downhill because the way the
Yeah.
wind was blowing, I couldn't go the way I wanted to. I had to go through the avalanche chutes where I found the dead fawns and deer. So I'm like on my butt, splayed out, just
Can I ask a technical question really quickly?
Yeah.
So you're 700 yards, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot in that terrain. When you get close to those, me and Tyrel have had that. You get to that other hillside, and you're like, I thought I had this hillside figured out. I looked at the binos, I thought, but it's different now.
Yep.
Like, what do you do to kind of anchor yourself as you're looking across that hill or down the hill or whatever? And you go, I got to find this bull again. And in your mind, it looks easy. It's like you draw a straight line in your head, but when you get there, it's different.
oh holy! It's
What you
always
think is
different.
10 is 100 yards. This tree and this tree, I've had that. I'm like, okay, those two pine trees, it's between those. And you get to the hillside and you're like, you thought they were next to each other. But when you get over to that hillside, there's actually 100 yards of distance between the two pine trees.
Yep.
I've done this where I'll take a picture of the area, circle it, kind of draw my route, on exit, everything. And then you get around to the draw and over the other side, and you're like, oh, this is not what I thought it was. So how do you anchor into that situation? You know what I mean? So you can get back on it and not blow that hunt.
I do very similar thing.
Yeah.
I take a lot of pictures and I kind of just recenter myself with where I'm at to understand where it is. I'll take a bunch of pictures. I'll check Onyx. When I get into position where I want to be, I'll do a lot of the line measuring tools just to kind of make sure everything lays out.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily for me in this situation, I know this area.
Yeah.
Like I know this. This is my mountainside.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
been very fortunate, and
Yeah.
I've harvested 2 really nice elk
Yeah.
in that same area with
Yep.
very similar location,
Right.
and a couple really good deer. So I know that area inside and out, and I have a really good understanding where it is. But like you just said, I had never approached it from that level.
Right.
Like I've never had to circle that high above to get into where I needed to be and go through those avalanche chutes. That was the game changer.
Yeah.
I had my pack on my front, on my belly, because I couldn't stand. Like it was too steep to stand.
Yeah.
And it was too rocky to stand without stuff sliding. So I literally had my pack and my bow, or my pack and my bow on my chest, all my camera gear, and I just kind of sat on my butt, and I put my feet out, and I put my hands out, and just kind of shimmied down as slow as I
down
could.
the hill. Yeah.
As slow as I could, because at that point, I mean, I was sub 200 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know how that is. 200 yards inside on an elk, all it takes is a rock, and you're done.
Yep. Yeah.
Luckily, I managed to get down out of the avalanche chutes and onto kind of like the grass tundra knolls,
Yeah.
because I'm still above tree line.
Yeah.
Like I'm above tree line, and that elk is literally right in the edge of the
That
tree line.
top edge of those last trees. Yeah.
So I worked my way in there, and I got to where I thought he was. Similar thing, right? Like I'm within 100 yards. I know I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I did is I just started ripping cow calls.
Okay.
I wanted him to think that with the wind, that some of his cows had kind of moved around without him being able to see them.
Got it.
And like 5 minutes later, just ripped, and I do, boom, there he is.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It worked out great.
Yep.
Perfect scenario, right?
Yeah.
So I slip in, and I'm probably
There was a
stuck.
question mark.
Yeah. That was a hard question mark.
Big question mark, right? So I slipped.
Because I know how the story ends. So yeah.
Crappy part about it too.
Keep going though. So
But I
perfect
managed
scenario.
to slip in to the edge of the tree line,
Yeah.
and that bull should be about 40 to 50 yards from where I am. Well, his cows popped out about 120 yards from where I am below me, but the bull never showed, and he stopped, immediately stopped after that one bugle. So I'm like, oh crap, I'm screwed. So I kind of sit there and I just let out a couple soft cow calls and just kind of work my way through the scenario, trying to see if I can get him to come out and show where the cows are.
Yeah. Because
So
what
that
you're
way I
thinking is if you cow call, he's going to come check and see why'd that cow go up there.
Or at least step out
Right.
so I know where he is,
Or make
and
a
I can
peek.
make a move,
Yeah.
right? Like something that allows me to know where he is, so I know if I need to go east or dive straight down. 'Cause
What kind of
luckily
cow
that
call are
wind
you
was
making? Is it
perfect.
just one mew, like mew?
Yeah, I like really, really soft cow
Nothing
calls.
crazy estrus, getting all
No.
over the place. Just one simple, like soft just cow.
In that situation, after I'd located him and I knew where he was, I didn't want to sound like I was the whole herd. I just wanted them
Yep.
to sound like I was a calf that mistaked where I was
Yeah.
and got away from my cows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Because if I could also get one of his cows over to me or call that cow in to take a look, who knows? Maybe
Now
that's
you're
the hot
getting
cow.
money. Yep. For sure.
Who knows? Well, long story boring. The cows fed out below me at about 70 to 120,
Mm-hmm.
and the bull never showed. So I'm just heartbroken at this point. I'm like, I'm screwed. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm looking back up at the top of the mountain. I'm like, it's only
That buck
3
is up
o'clock.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can make it. No, I can't. But
Yeah.
yeah, I can make it. So I said, you know what? You're right here. Commit to it. Dive into it. See what happens. Worst
Yeah.
case scenario, you blow him out and he goes 2 miles up the mountain and you just got to hike in further.
Right.
So I circled back around to the east and I got up on top of what's kind of like a little rocky knoll
Yeah.
with some really light sporadic spruce trees and stuff. Very
Yep.
little cover.
Yep.
And I kind of walked through and I'm working my way around and I circled and made a big loop and got straight downwind from them. Well, I popped up over the edge of the corner and there's just one tree, just one small tree. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to put that between me and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I popped up. There's 3 cows 64 yards from me.
Oh.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Immediately dropped down. And then the cows, I think they caught me kind of moving on that skyline.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of got alert. They started kind of moving around. They didn't really make any calls yet. So then that probably happened for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the bull and I couldn't figure out where he was because I was still kind of on top of that knob. Well, after a little bit, I kind of just peeked up and I could see the top of his antlers. I'm like, oh, perfect. He's just right here. Well, right here is like 60 feet below me. And we're on a really steep slope.
Yeah.
Like he's 60 feet below me and he's at like ass pointed to me.
Oh no. Yeah.
Not ideal.
Uh-uh.
So just kind of keep working the scenario, just kind of hanging out. And then the cows come on alert and here come the alarm barks. And I'm
Yeah.
like, ah, crap, I'm done. Like I'm toast.
Yeah.
Well, that bull stood up. And when he stood up, he kind of moved a little bit and found a little bit more of a flat spot. So he wasn't just straight ass to me. He
Yeah.
was kind of a little better angle.
Uh-huh.
I'm making a weird noise with my
Like
lips. I just-
sneaking,
I like
like you're
that.
thinking you can sneak behind that back rib.
Yep, that's
for sure.
exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a perfect angle. I mean,
Yep.
the bull's looking straight away from me. It's a lot of vital organs
There
between
is.
here.
Yes.
And this is 60 yards. And like, he doesn't know I'm here. I am very comfortable with this.
Yep.
Like, this is what I've trained for. This is what I've prepared for. This is what I
Absolutely.
can do. So I get everything lined up. I get everything dialed in right where I want it. And for the angle, I was like, all right, I need to aim just a skosh low. I want just a little bit low on that. So that way, if I
Yes.
do miss a little high,
Yeah.
I'm still sneaking under that rib and I'm not following that vertebrae.
Yeah.
Because
and-
that would be the terrible part. You
Yep.
follow the top of that vertebrae and just give him an arrow all the way under his back straps.
Yeah.
Well, everything kind of happened pretty quick. And he turned to look at me. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, just look away. Give me a little bit more of a hard quarter straight away. Because when you're turned like that,
Everything bunches
I
up
don't,
there, huh?
I don't want that
Yeah.
bunch. And he did. He just turned and looked away. I found that spot
away.
and I just let it sit.
Yeah.
And that arrow was one of the most beautiful things that I've ever seen fly in my life. Like, I just watched it. And I'm like, there's no way. Here it is. Like, this
Yeah.
is a dead elk.
Yeah.
You know, he ran about 90 yards and stopped at about 90 yards. So about 30 yards total.
Yeah.
And I could see that arrow buried about 20, maybe 22 inches deep. Like,
Yeah.
there's only my
Like
arrow rack
reflection,
and just
yeah.
a little bit of that stuff sticking out. I'm like,
Yeah.
dead out.
Yeah.
At that angle, it wasn't sticking straight out of his back. It wasn't laying flat on his back. It was like that perfect 40-degree angle I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, straight through the liver, intestine, through the diaphragm, probably
Got
into
to
a
be
lung.
alone. Yeah.
Like, here we go. This is a dead elk. Well, at 90 yards, I was panicking a little bit because I
Yeah.
couldn't see him. He'd step behind some trees.
Yeah.
And I had a rookie mistake. Like, this is one of those things as a hunter we always have to remember with archery tackle. Stop. Center yourself.
Yeah.
No matter what the shot is, stop and center yourself.
Yep.
Well, I was super stoked.
Yeah.
And I didn't stop and center myself.
Yeah.
I took another 10 yards to try to get visual on him when I shouldn't have. He stepped out at 90. I do not condone anybody taking a shot at 90 yards unless you are a damn good archery guy.
Right.
But with a bull with a fatal arrow in him at 90 yards,
You
as an
do what I
archery
think.
guy,
Yep.
you do the right thing. You try to get another arrow in him.
Yep. Agreed.
I went to draw. His cows busted me.
Yeah.
And he took off after his cows. He just nose to the ground,
Yeah.
straight after his cows. And with that arrow and where it entered, there's no blood,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's at the top of his back.
Yes.
Very, very little blood coming down. And unless he rolls over or beds,
Yep.
no gases are going to escape. No blood's going to come out.
Yeah.
Nothing. Cold trail.
So what should you have done in hindsight? What's your hindsight? Tell us what we can learn from.
Hindsight 2020, I never should have tried to grab that extra 10 yards just to get eyes on him. I should have sat there and waited.
So been patient.
Been patient, as hard as that is.
Yep.
Mhm.
Stop
the
and be
hardest.
patient. It is. That's why I love hunting with somebody, like a buddy,
Yeah.
because usually they can help center you.
Yeah.
But when you're solo by yourself, sometimes that stuff gets the best of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially in a situation like, you know, even as a seasoned archery hunter, you know, I've been doing this for 15 years now. I make mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my mistake. That was what ultimately sealed the fate for me.
Yeah.
And as soon as I seen him bust, I knew in my head, like, I need to bail out. I need to bail. I need to leave.
Yeah.
Like, a wounded bull with a hot cow, he's just going to follow the cows and he's just going to walk. And that
Yeah.
arrow entry is typically what you would call like a zombie deer or a zombie elk.
Yeah.
It might take 2 days for him to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I didn't clip the lung like I expected, there's a good chance. And that's the whole reason why I wanted to take the secondary follow-up shot.
Yeah.
So what I did, instead of backing out like I should have, I circled back around the way I came in to get above and just get as much
Hope to get
elevation as I
glass on
could.
him.
Just as much elevation as I could to hope that I could see him breaking through the tree line or see where his cows went.
Yeah.
Never saw it.
Yep.
So I backed out that night. I went back up there that next morning. I found one drop of blood where he stopped for that 10 minutes behind those trees when I tried to grab that extra couple yards.
Yeah.
I immediately bailed out because it was a track that I knew I was going to struggle with.
Yeah.
So I called in Rocky Mountain Big Game Recovery. They hooked me up with a guy out of... Yeah, the dog guys. Yeah. So I called him. I'm pretty good friends with one of the guys up there in Wellington that kind of started the whole deal. And he put me in contact with a guy named Andrew And he's one of the top trackers in North America, come to find out. Like, he'd already been on 400 whitetail recoveries or something like that for the year. And he was making his rounds through Colorado. And we're only like 20 days into the season. And he'd already recovered like 30 elk.
What?
And I'm like, how is this even possible? And so he meets me up there. This is a day after everything happened. You know, it's cold enough. I know the elk meat's going to be okay. Meets me up there, and we track this thing. We probably put on 10 miles trying to track. Just cut grid, cut track. Elk are very different than a deer. And the dogs are great at blood tracking, but blood's not their best. Gas, like intestinal gas.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
And deer, when a deer is wounded, they release a hormone in those glands that actually say, I'm injured, because the other deer don't want to be around them.
Yeah.
So they're really good at tracking deer. Blood is harder.
Yeah.
Gas is what we need.
Mm-hmm.
And because my arrow didn't go through and release out the bottom side of that elk, the gas is never released within a relatively decent area.
Yeah, he's holding it all.
And if he didn't roll and break my arrow, like nothing. So we spent that, that entire day, and we probably put on about 10 to 15 miles tracking that bull. He bailed out. I had to go back to work that next day, so I went down, worked, called the Division of Wildlife. I know the officers up there really well, and they kind of put a notice out like, hey, let's try to find this bull, because I help them a lot with poaching stuff.
Yeah.
So they're like really willing to help me out. And for the next 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks of the season, I went up there every night, every weekend, every day. And I probably put on 50 miles trying to find that elk. I had ample opportunity, ample opportunities at other animals in that time frame that I could have harvested. I could have went and chased the buck again.
Yeah.
I could have done anything and everything I wanted to. And I didn't, because that is not who I am.
Right.
Again, just no different than that deer. I didn't lay eyes on that elk. I didn't know where that elk went. And until I could see that or verify that, I'm not going to do anything other than look for that elk.
Yeah.
And this is into my mountain goat hunt.
Oh, really?
So
no.
I got the phone call the last week of archery season.
Yeah.
Well, that first weekend of that rifle hunt where you can't hunt, I spent the entire weekend on the mountain looking for an elk, not a mountain goat.
Yeah.
You know, I had a once in a lifetime opportunity tag in my pocket, but my goal was to do right by that animal.
Yeah.
And I still, I get sick talking about this because not only did I not feed my family, it's a dead elk.
Yeah.
He's dead.
You're pretty sure he's dead. Yeah.
Like, he's dead. And
yeah, that's a heartbreaker.
I have failed to do right, in my opinion, by that animal, right? Like, that animal gave its life to sustain me.
Yep.
But now it's just given its life.
Yeah.
It's part of conservation, though.
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, it's the very, very hard part of it. Whether you're a kid or an adult, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how you react and what you do that separates you from, air quote, killer versus a conservationist.
Yeah.
And that's why, to me, it's so important in those situations that you spend the time to find the animal and you do right. I never knocked another arrow at an elk. I had 320 bulls, 340 bulls, screaming in my face for the next 2 weeks.
They knew, right? They were like, he's not going to shoot us. We're going to go ahead and get nice and close and piss him off a little bit.
And it's a hard choice because it means I'm not feeding my family, but I'm also not taking another life in substitute for the one that I don't know. Yeah. And that was a struggle for me. It still is, but I know at the end of the day, like, as a hunter and a conservationist and what we're trying to teach everybody about our lifestyle, right? That is the right thing to do. Yeah. It's the only thing to do in that situation, in my opinion. And I would do it over and over and over and over again. What sucks is this just so happened to be on a world-class elk. You know, I'm not a trophy hunter by any means, but I fall in love with an animal, and that's the animal I'm going to hunt. Whether that's a giant 2-point that's 20 years old, or a 380 bull that looks like he's the only mature elk I want to hunt, I'm going to hunt the animal I fall in love with. And that bull was one of those ones. And unfortunately, I think
he's a beautiful bull. I mean, I got to see him.
I think unfortunately he would have been in that high 370s.
It looks like it to me. Yeah. He's a stomper of a bull.
It was,
And you know what's nice about him too is you could tell by the way he was walking, he was old. Mm-hmm. You know, because I actually thought the video you sent me, he was already wounded. And he said, no, it's steep and he's old.
Yeah.
and he looks like he's on the decline. That's the perfect bull to harvest.
I forgot I sent you that video. Yeah, because I mean, in that video, that was the first time that I'd seen him alive on the hoof outside of Velvet. It was
Yeah.
September 3rd.
Yeah.
I didn't see that bull again until September 20th, I think is when it was,
Mm-hmm.
which is insane to me.
Yeah.
You know, just a big, mature bull that knew where to hide and where to hang out and didn't want to show himself.
Yeah, he was amazing.
What's crazy to think, too, and I look back at this, and this is kind of the weird one. Over the years, my most successful weekend for archery hunting has been the 17th through the 21st. It is insane. Like, you start looking at that, and I was looking at the date, and I was like, oh, September 20th, and then it shows me all my memories, and I'm like, oh, elk.
Yes.
That's kind of
It's
cool.
a good weekend.
That's
Dude,
kind
It's
of
a good little
thing to watch.
stretch.
You know, Jay and I were talking about that on the mountain. We were looking at pictures.
Yep.
And I wonder if it's just our own, well, maybe it's just the mountain we like to hunt, and it's just wind stuff. It's our own, maybe it's our own cycle that we live as a hunter, because up there, I think it was like that September 8, 9, 10, 11. Like everything we've ever shot is in that September, like 8 to 11th.
Yep.
You know, that doesn't mean it's a better time for the rut or anything. It's probably just us having consistency and going early in September. We
It's
want to
just
be up there
coincidence.
before muzzle loader, probably.
Yeah.
But I was looking like every one of us, probably 7 or 8 bulls, and I was like, they're all within those 4 days, you know?
Dude, and that's a crazy misconception, too, that I talk to a lot of archery guys. They don't like to be in the woods during muzzleloader season. Honestly, I hate it just because it's terrifying sometimes.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
I've called in more muzzleloader guys than I have good elk.
Oh, yeah. At least you can see them coming with the orange, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then half the time I feel like I need to be decked out in orange, too.
I know.
Sure.
I do anymore just to be safe.
I do.
You know, I wear
at
my
least
good
wear
old,
an orange hat.
I wear my good old
Muzzleloader.
Colorado Bowhunter Association
Yeah,
hunter
yeah.
orange hat. But like I love archery hunting during that muzzleloader season.
Me too, dude.
The elk get pushed around. They're moving different. They're going to the places where I want them to go.
Yeah.
They're no longer moving into just, hey, I'm going to be in the deepest, nastiest hellhole canyon all the way over there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over here, and I like over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the spot that I like because I
Right.
know that spot. You
Right.
know, I know the ambush points.
Right.
It's kind of crazy, but I don't know. It's been fun over the years dealing with stuff like that. But this year was tough. The
Yeah.
mountain goat was awesome, but having two,
But losing two
fail-
It's heavy.
bulls, yeah.
at least the buck I had closure on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
At least the buck had closure. The bull, I'll spend all spring and all summer looking for that head.
Yeah.
Like I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until
It'll
I
be like
close
this
that
guy
chapter.
behind me. This is
Yep.
my lost bull behind us, and same deal. And you know, when I finally got to the carcass of this, I didn't. We won't get into the story because I've told it one too many times at this point. But when I did find this carcass, it was good to see that like it was scattered over like a 35-yard area of those woods. Like none of it really went to waste. You know, you feel like you're wasting it, but it was eaten up. I mean, was. I don't know what ate it, but you know, it was scattered. That carcass was all over the woods.
It's gonna find its life or its place in the circle of life, right? Like
For
it's
sure.
going to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely wasn't just like,
But-
you know, ribs and legs and everything just decomposed right there. I mean, it was like the head was there and like there was a couple bones laying around, but otherwise it was literally just
Yep.
everywhere. Leg over here, spine over there, ribs over there. I mean, it had gotten taken apart.
Which a lot of people have asked me too on that bull. They're like, well, did you go look for birds? I'm like, of course I looked for birds. Like
Yeah.
that is a telltale tracking
Yeah.
way to find a deer or an elk that's potentially dead.
Yep.
And I look back at them like I spent so many hours up there looking for magpies, and then I look at the temperatures and I look at where I'm at. I'm like,
Yeah.
that elk's not going to rot for.
A week, 2
Yeah.
weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
10 degrees at night. We're at 12,000 feet.
It was frozen.
It was tough. Yeah, frozen solid,
Yeah.
right? But it's like you said, I've been in areas, and we've all been there before too. You see carcass, but
Yeah.
there's no shoulder, there's no hip,
Yeah.
there's no femur.
Yeah.
Well, then you walk a mile in a different direction, and
Yeah.
there's a femur over here randomly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the circle of life in the woods, we're just a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we are, and we're just introducing ourselves into it.
Right.
And we are so lucky as outdoorsmen and women to be able to experience what these animals go through on a very limited basis. But what we have as rights here in the state of Colorado that are constantly being infringed upon
Yeah.
right now, like we are so privileged and so blessed to be able to do this.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it sucks that there's people that want to take it away from us because they don't understand who we are and what we do and our lifestyle.
Yep.
And the only way that we can do that is through stuff like this,
Yeah.
Yep.
where we can try to connect and educate people.
Right.
You know, I go out of my way when I hunt to talk to people Because
Yeah.
a lot of guys, and as bad as this sucks, I've had more 2-hour conversations on the mountain with a dead elk on my back
Yeah.
with people that have no idea what we're
Yeah.
doing and what we're about than I haven't,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It
they're pretty
sucks.
supportive, honestly. They think it's cool.
They love it.
Like I rarely run into that stereotype of like the really judgy, the Patagonia wearing, like you're
Yeah.
a murderer. Like almost always they're like, oh, that's really cool. How, yeah.
And a lot of folks judge me because I'll strip my pack in the middle of a pack out to have this conversation.
Yeah.
If I know the meat's okay.
Yeah.
But like to me, this is an
It's
opportunity
really
to
important
educate.
to have that conversation.
Yeah.
It really is.
Don't get me wrong, it sucks that I'm in the middle of a 6-mile pack out or something. And
And I got a lot of work ahead of me still. But
Yeah.
But this person genuinely wants to know what
Yeah.
I'm doing and why I'm doing it all day long.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
encourage people to do that. Don't
Yeah.
look at it negatively when you're talking to somebody out
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
Approach it openly and have
Yeah.
that conversation and talk to them about it.
I don't think that the other side, I don't know if I want to call it right and left. I think that's just how we organize. But I don't know if it's always that with hunting and anti-hunting. But I'll say that like the anti-hunting world is pretty small.
Mhm.
They're just really noisy and they're well organized.
Very rich.
And they got a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think if you look at the general population, I don't think it's as big as people think that, hunters, we assume so-and-so doesn't like us because we hunt. Like, it's not true.
No,
A
not
lot
at
of these
all.
people, I've got a client right now that she's marginally anti-hunting. She's Mother Nature herself, kind of. But, she gives me her dad's old hunting rifle. My dad used to go hunting with this. And as I let it kind of move easily through the conversation, she kind of softens to the idea. And I go, hey, we eat all of this. I'm not just out to kill something and leave it behind.
Mhm.
Right. And to show her a picture of this is me and my daughter, with an elk, or this is me and my son with a deer. And look, we're eating this. And, it softens them to that. And if you get into that conversation a little bit, I think you find that like, oh yeah, my grandpa used to do that. You know what I mean? You're right. Somebody I loved used to hunt for food,
Oh, yeah.
And so I think all of us are connected to it in some way, not everybody, right? But I think the majority of us are connected in a really positive way to going out and harvesting.
And it's
little bit
like
of
you
meat.
said, it's all a matter of how you have the conversation.
Yeah.
You can meet that person that might be 100% anti-hunting and hate you and think that they're just the scum of the earth. But if you leave there and you don't fall to their level
Yeah.
and you walk away with a handshake and I understand and respect
Yeah.
your opinion, you are better off and doing better for our community as outdoorsmen than you are by getting in an argument.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
If you just approach it openly, you have an open conversation. And what works for me to really
Yeah.
get people involved is, like you said, tying into the heritage, but it's trying to explain my emotional connection with an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a 2020 mule deer. So in 2020, I got a divorce, and it was the hardest time in my life, air quote,
Yeah.
And
See
I
that.
put a pistol in my mouth 3 days later after she said she didn't love me anymore.
Mm.
And, I had to make a choice right then. Well, I'm going to live for everybody else and do anything I can to help other people.
Yeah.
So fall later on that year, I had one of those kind of epiphany hunts. Those hunts that dive you back into who you are and your roots and really what you want to be as a conservationist.
Right.
Because up until that point, don't get me wrong, like I loved hunting, but I think I would have classified myself as more of just a killer rather
Yeah.
than a conservationist, because the hunt wasn't always the most important thing. It was what I had for freezer meat and what I had for antlers on the wall. 2020 changed all that for me because
Yeah.
I had a different perspective on life. But yeah, where I was going with that is I've got a picture on my wall that I had one of my really good friends paint for me that I pulled out of the video. And I just harvested 185-inch mule deer buck. Just a beautiful buck
Mhm.
on a license that I had no idea what to hunt or how to hunt it. In
Yeah.
an area I had no idea what to do. It was on the reissue list. And like my hands are in my face. I'm sweaty. My hair's a mess. And you can see me sobbing and you can see the emotion.
Yeah.
And that is what we have to get people to dive into, is understand that this is more than just pulling a trigger.
Yeah.
Like, you are taking a life. You are connected to everything around you. You understand the importance of the deer, the squirrel, the chipmunk, the rabbit. Like, you understand nature better than most.
Yeah.
The only person that understands nature better than you is nature herself.
Yeah.
And if we can get people to understand that and really start to kind of portray that as hunters and not do it in a cinematic way, but do it in a real way, like a real nitty gritty, down to earth, unproduced. Like, this is my fucking emotion, and here I am as a man. I am bawling over a deer. Like, when you get people to understand that, that's when you start to not necessarily change people's minds, but get them to understand who you are.
Yeah.
And you have to take that approach when you're talking to people who aren't into hunting.
Yeah.
They're just as passionate about not hunting as you are hunting.
Yeah.
Like, it's real, right? Like, you've got to take
and hate
into their
hate is a pretty motivating thing.
Yeah.
But we're going to circle back to the pistol in your mouth conversation, and I want to see how you got there. You comfortable talking about that?
Oh yeah, all day long.
Yeah.
You know, it was what I thought was the hardest point in my life. I'd been with that gal for a while. It was 8 years of a relationship. And, you know, as a guy, I thought that I'd completely failed in life.
Sure.
You know, you look at the woman you love and she says she doesn't love you anymore and just doesn't want to be there. You know, we'd only been married for 2 years, but we'd been together for 8. It hit me hard. And I was like, well, I what do I do now? Like, what do I do? Well, there's one really easy way to do it. There's a Smith & Wesson MP40 shield sitting inside the gun safe.
That'll do it.
And that'll do it. 2.3 pounds of trigger pull and it'll be over and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And she was asleep in the bedroom and I was having a rough week at work, not really happy with what I was doing. And I'd just gotten out of the shower and still wet and dried off and looked at myself and I grabbed that pistol and took a bite of metal. Yeah. You know, and had to look at myself in the mirror and like I couldn't.
Yeah.
And that was when it kind of hit me like, if is this really what I want to do? Like, is this how I want to leave my mark?
Right.
Nobody's going to remember the good that I've done or what I've done. They're going to remember this right here.
Oh, for sure.
They're going to remember the new paint job on the bathroom wall.
Yep.
And that moment changed everything for me.
Yeah.
You know, and it's one of those things that I think as men in general, and anybody for that matter, we have to talk about that stuff.
Agreed.
Because it happens. And if it
to men
doesn't
especially.
happen, and if you think it doesn't, like, you are naive. Like, it happens. I bet you there's 95% of men out there who have had that thought. Maybe they've went as far as grabbing the pistol.
Yeah.
Maybe they've just had the thought.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
you and I mentioned that on the phone, and I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it or not, but I mean, it's 70, not even, it's like 80% of suicides are men our age.
I think it's 80% now in 2024. I think it's like roughly the number.
Yeah. Somewhere between like 30 or 27 and 55 or something. You know, and you brushed up against the statement of like, I kind of like everything was shit, or, you know, I hear guys say this a lot, like, well, I lost everything. Right. And it's like, when they really say that, they mean like, I lost my job and my wife left me. Right. Or whatever. And you have like, your job was shit, your wife leaves you. It's the formula for eating a bullet.
Yeah.
It is. And I always, it triggers that thing into me, not to challenge you, but that we kind of pick the scab on that conversation around, well, what is everything? Right? Because if everything is your wife and your job, that's that's a shitty existence.
I don't disagree with you.
Right? Because those can both be taken away from you in the matter of a Saturday or a Sunday or, you know, any shitty Monday. You know,
happens
any
quick.
situation, right?
Right?
In any way, shape, or form.
Well, and it happens usually pretty quickly, kind of at the same time, because if the marriage isn't great and your only real value to her is provider energy, because that's one of our biggest and what we consider our highest values as men is our ability to provide, right? And whether women want to admit it or not, like, that's one of the most attractive things to women is our ability to provide, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just natural. You know,
there's nothing wrong with it. It's just natural.
But you come home, lost my job, and she goes, you know what, actually, I haven't been liking you that much anyway. You know what I mean? I'm going to leave. And then it's just, you hear the story too often, right? It's like, he loses a job. She says, oh, I'm taking the kids going to my mom's, eats a bullet, right? And I think for me, it's been this kind of constant, like, let's remind ourselves as men, like, that's not who we are, right? You're not just a dad. You're not just a, you know, whatever your job is at work. You're not just manager or, you know, whatever it is, GM this or, you know, project this. It's just, how do you get, and it's hard because it takes a lot more work to say, well, my identity is this over here, because it's easy when it's your job and it's easy to just say my identity is my job and my job as a father and as like a husband, because those things they're automatic. They're already there. They're always there. Yep. You know what I mean? Somebody hands you over a contract that says this is what you're going to do for work.
Yeah.
And as a dad or a father or as a husband, you don't really have to think. You should be thinking, but you are, whether you want to be or not. So it's easy. But everything else that should be you, it's hard work. It's hard work to figure out who we are.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I tell guys, like, you have to be able to be strong without your wife or without your kids, you know. And I had a really, in hindsight, not bad, but I mean, had a moment where we had twin daughters and one of them died. And, you know, you go, are you solid enough to be a solid enough man in your own space that you're still there for the remaining kid and your wife? Because you go like, what if they take that away? What if they take away your kids? What if they take away your wife? What if they go away? You know, have you built yourself to be strong without them? You know?
Yeah.
And that's just me grasping at the solution to how do we stop having guys kill themselves?
Yeah.
Is my only thought, and I don't have the answer certainly, but is you cannot just say, well, this is, who are you? You know, when somebody sits down at a party and they got a whiskey in their hand, they go, tell me about you, man. And you go, well, my job is this, and I have 3 daughters. My job is this, I have a daughter and a son, and I'm married. You know? And so often when I hear that, I go, okay, cool.
Who are you?
But I ask, who are you? You know what I mean? Who are you?
Yep.
Right? What are you? What are you about? What do you know? And I think it's just, and those 3 things are wonderful, but it's like we get so wrapped up in that's who we are.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not who you are. It's not.
Well,
You
we allow
support
that
those
to
2 and
define
that's what
us.
you do, you know?
Yeah, we allow those things to define us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, like you're saying, like men in general, and we'll just say everybody for that matter, because
Yeah.
I know a lot of women that are the same way.
And women do it too. They just they don't have the eating the bullet part.
Yeah. And
For some reason we do.
understanding who you are and what you are, or really who you are, emphasis on who, sometimes it takes the crappiest of situations for
Yes.
you to really, really find out who you are.
Yeah.
And that's where I was. Like, it was, okay, well, who am I? And I couldn't recognize the person in the mirror anymore.
Yeah.
You know? And that's when I decided, change it,
Yeah.
fix it. Either FTFO,
Yeah.
figure it the fuck out.
Absolutely.
And here we go. Like, now is the time to
Where'd
start.
you go to figure it out? What was the first step between take the gun out of the mouth? Next.
The next step was probably not the healthiest for a
Okay.
guy. I think in general, I buried myself in running.
Yeah.
You know, running was my thing. I was escaping everything.
Yeah.
You know, I threw on David.
It actually
Goggins.
is. It's a hell of a lot healthier than burying yourself in a bottle.
It is.
You know?
It was tough though, because I found myself running away from everything rather than, here we go, let's solve the problem.
Yeah.
I'd put on 30 miles in a day. You know,
Yeah.
I stopped driving to work and I would run to work. I would
Yeah.
stop having lunch at work and I would run
During lunch.
like during lunch. You know,
Yeah.
I'd put on 100 miles in a weekend and I would just run.
Yeah.
And it was great. You know, I'd throw on David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me and listen to a podcast by Jocko or something for hours and just go.
Yeah. Just like that's like a fucking like anger stew.
Yeah, right?
It really is.
So it was good in the fact that it was a better choice than other things, but I never dealt with it. And then I got into powerlifting and then I got into lifting in general.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until, like I said, that hunt.
Yeah.
That hunt where I really reconnected with nature and really decided, like, my life isn't about me. My life is about what I can do to take this knowledge and pass it on to people, whether it's
Yeah.
children, friends, family,
Yeah.
anybody in pain, anybody in hurt. What can I do to help? Because
Absolutely.
at the
Yeah.
end of the day, like, I can take all my life experiences to the grave,
Yeah.
but if I don't educate people, am I really being a good person?
Totally.
And that's where I dove into, and that's where I started to try to work on motivational speaks and talking with people
Yeah.
and being that person that when
Yeah.
somebody's hurting, like, let's go help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you see the mom crying at
let's
the
have that
grocery store
conversation.
who can't
Yeah.
pay for everything. Well, let's talk about it. Like, let's talk about this. Let's buy that stuff for her.
Yeah.
Let's go sit down at the Starbucks in there and have a coffee and talk to her about life and see what's happening. You know, there was I think it was that same year, there was this 13-year-old kid that I watched throw like $100 worth of food into his backpack at King Soopers. I walked over to the loss prevention guys that were getting ready to arrest him.
Yeah.
I said, let's not ruin this kid's life.
Yeah.
They pulled him over to Starbucks. I paid for all of his groceries, and we
Good.
had an hour-long conversation with that kid. And it's not,
What was his story?
story was mom was a deadbeat and dad was a drunk,
And he didn't have any food.
and he didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And whether or not that actually changes his life is irrelevant. You shouldn't be
It
tied
will.
into the
It will.
result.
You just don't know when. It's a seed that's planted. I believe in that.
Exactly, right? Like, you can't do it because of
10
what-
years, 15 years, he'll look back and go, oh,
you can't do it because you want an immediate result. You have to realize that you're doing it because it's the right thing to do.
Yep.
And, you know, I've got Memento Mori tattooed on my arm. Remember, you're mortal, because I'm going to die one day.
Yeah.
And if I die with all of my knowledge in my head,
Mm-hmm.
my experiences, everything, I have failed.
Yeah.
That is my
Agreed.
failure to me. That is what I have redefined of who I am as failure.
Yeah.
And that's where I found myself. Like, and that is what I love the most.
Yeah.
And that's who I am now. Like,
Yeah.
I am the guy that will give somebody the shirt off my back.
Yeah.
I drive around on public land in the middle of one of my hunts, and I see a dad and his kid over there hunting.
Yeah.
I throw all my crap. I grab my camera and I bombard right in the middle of their hunt, and I film for them,
Like,
and I
I'll
take
film.
pictures for them.
And I'm going to help you get something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have to, like you said, that's a hard thing to figure out as a man, whatever it is and however you find it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And I think there's very few people that understand that. I
Yeah.
probably still don't even understand it to this day.
How do you
but I
care
try.
for yourself now then? Because we talked about how you punished yourself and
Oh yeah.
you just ran into it. And I agree 100%. That is a great solution, is just go suffer.
100%.
Tyrel's good at that. He does those 100-mile races and he's good at that. And I know that it's in that you find those demons and you deal with them and you got to reckon with them. But how have you figured out to like kind of like love on yourself a little bit? What's that
The
look like?
dichotomy has been the hardest thing to find. You know,
Right.
that balance between all
Yeah.
of it. But for me, it was just finding a little bit of consistency. I'm such a routine person. I love
Right.
having routine.
Right.
It's finding those things that just kind of consistent here and there.
Yeah.
Everything else, it's a chance of circumstance, and deal with it, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, life is not easy.
Yeah.
That's why God made toilet paper, because shit happens.
Yeah.
So, like, deal with it,
Yeah.
head on, don't run away from it. But
Right.
you've got to find the time for yourself. Even
Right.
in my current relationship with Christy, like,
Yeah.
we still feel time for ourselves.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, that self-identification is just as important. That codependency is sometimes deadly.
It is. Yeah.
Yes.
And codependency is a real thing.
It
If
is.
men haven't ever kind of looked in the mirror on that one,
Oh.
you know, are you checking her temperature to see if you're sick or not? Kind of,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Situation in
Yeah.
life, you know, and because you slip into it pretty easily if you don't watch it,
Yep.
you know,
And honestly, I think that creates a lot of problems in relationships
horrible for
and
you,
life in general.
horrible for her, horrible for you.
And by
Yeah.
no means is this a dog on my ex-wife and my previous relationship.
Yeah.
As I dinged the microphone, so maybe it was. But I think it was an important step that happened to me for me to figure out who I was.
Yeah.
I'm sure at this
And-
point you're really grateful for her, aren't you?
Oh my God, to
100.
an extent, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
as crappy as it was, like, I needed that.
Yeah.
I needed that in life to figure out who I am and where I am now.
Yeah.
I am probably nowhere near the same person I was back then,
Sure.
you know, and I think it's for the best
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to come to a realization too. You look
Right.
and spend like 3/4 of your life being somebody that you think you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I've got like 4 friends, maybe.
Yeah.
The most important thing to me are these 4 girls and my fiance and,
Yeah.
and how I help people.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's honestly what drives me to be a part of the CBA.
Yeah.
You know, I have the
To give
chance
back
to
and love on
influence
people.
everything. You know, we
Yeah.
just dumped $30,000 into youth outreach for 2026.
Yeah.
You know, like, we're talking about changing the future and
Yeah.
actually do
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and I hate to hear the whole thing, well, if I had all the money in the world, I could do something, but it's true. If I had $1 million to dump into youth education and teach these kids about wildlife and conservation,
Yeah.
I'd do it in a heartbeat, because
Yeah.
they are the future.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it'd be these kind of conversations too, as tough as they are, but you find the emotionally intelligent kids, they need to know this stuff
Yeah.
too.
They
do.
they need to know it.
Yeah.
Sooner
They
than
do.
you
They do.
than you
it's
anticipate or think, or
hard. I mean, I dealt
in
with
this
that
day and age
a year
too.
ago
Yeah.
today, like damn near. My son had one of his best friends kill himself, you know, and that is not a conversation you ever think you're going to have. You have to sit your son down and go, "Hey, your buddy's gone, man."
At 12 years old, 13
Yeah,
years old.
13 years old. 12. He was 12 at that time.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, man.
Yeah. And when I was thinking about that, I think I was 12 when I experienced my first suicide.
Yeah.
You know, when we lived in Parachute, Colorado, we had a
Mhm.
neighbor, and I walked outside and I was shooting my bow, coincidentally thinking about it. And I didn't know what he was doing. He was like 50 yards away, and he was putting a bunch of plastic down on his patio.
Oh God.
And I watched him shoot himself. You know, I called 911. I'm the one that went over there and
What?
found everything. And I'd never experienced that. Never thought that I would ever experience it later in my life. But like, as
Man.
crappy as those situations are, we have to be exposed to them as humans.
Yeah.
We have been too comfortable in life. I thought that's why you had the diaper now.
All right,
And he
guys.
legit pushed him.
Yeah.
We're just right back where we started.
Got a little heavy beheaded bell.
We had to go bathroom break it up. I don't even know where we stopped. I was at a point when we were talking where I just looked at you guys and I just had to stand up and leave. I don't know. Tyrel's going to have to bring us back together, but welcome back.
The urgency and sensation is real for you.
The urgency, dude. Yeah. That like after that surgery, like it's just like once you got to go, you got to go. There ain't no stopping it, you know? And so I'm sitting here and like Caleb's getting into such good stuff. And I'm just like, bracing on lifting one leg and just bracing up on the chairs.
I will say that was the first time you've ever looked at me that way.
Oh, dude, I looked at you like, oh, I'm just gonna run out to the tree and see if I can pee, just to buy myself enough time to get from then to the trees to the toilet and just relieve a little bit of pressure, and then I'm gonna get to the bathroom. I mean, I think I shoved my poor little wife out of the way because you were talking to her, and I come busting through the back door of the house, shove her to the side.
Love you, bye.
Well, and you know how it is, like you think, okay, I'm to the door, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, but Caleb had already gone in, and he's in the lower level bathroom.
Yep, you had to go
so
upstairs.
I walk in, and I'm like, I'm gonna go right to that door, and your brain gives you, it kind of goes, you've got 4.5 seconds, and then you can relax, and then that 4.5 went to 10, right? Because like, oh no, he's at the lower. Now I got to go up 2 flights of stairs to the upstairs. So I like shove Andrew to the side. I'm using the handrail to do 2 steps at a time. And oh God,
We got it done.
but we got it done. We got a little bathroom break. I topped off the coffee. Tyrel's got to leave in 10 minutes. So
Yep.
we have to unfortunately wrap up with Caleb after kind of getting into some of that really, really good stuff, Caleb. And it's, and also he's got this distracting video of this golden eagle pushing
Just
push
massive.
these deer off of this. This is incredible.
If I was a good producer, I'd add that
You know
into
what,
the
Tyrell?
show
I'm gonna
right
challenge you to add that to the show. Can you please cut this clip from Caleb and just everybody needs to, wow, this deer, this eagle is not, I thought these deer would be like, just kind of like shake him off and they ignore him.
He's like really pushing him.
They're running. Like
He
look at
literally
that.
grabs onto that deer's rear end on that one.
Yeah. I mean, it would have, oh my gosh. Oh my
What a
goodness.
sight.
And look how wide that buck is.
Yeah, like I said, there's a 190-inch buck in there and a couple 180s. Like, there's some good deer in that group.
That's incredible. You need to send this over to Tyrell. And Tyrell, you need to do your job. Get that shit on there. I'm going to get a sip of coffee and let's,
Not that good.
where were we at? So we can wrap up, guys. The camera, holy hell. Minus some bathroom breaks. It looks like we're at 2 hours in this. And so I really hope you guys are listening. If you are, God, I love you so much for listening and sticking with us for a conversation that Caleb, good job. Because I'm just sitting here and I'm looking.
It's been really fun.
It's been really, really fun. Thanks for the vulnerability, man. Talking about the whole, just having that pistol in your mouth. It's funny because that came out of my mouth pretty easy, and I think it's because a lot of guys have had that experience, and we mentioned that, and it's a real thing, and I think it's hard as a man. You go, what's my value? What's my worth? And the love of your life can take that away from you pretty quickly if you haven't done the work to figure out really, where you're at and what it is. And so, so thanks for sharing that moment in time. One thing before we wrap up, and then we will, you haven't quite answered me yet though, on like, how are you loving on yourself? You know what I mean? Because it's a really hard, I think and I'm pushing you because it's a hard one. We know how to punish ourselves really well. Adam and I, our podcast last week was, we touched on this, and I made a comment just to relate it to the weight room. I said, I'd rather do 10 sets of 10 squats than I would stretch for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Which if we change that and we go, we'd rather go suffer than we would look in the mirror and go, hey, I love you, man. It's like, that's not easy for us to do. Have you figured that out? I'm not, you might say, no, I haven't figured it out, but I mean, where are you at in that journey?
I definitely don't have a recipe for it. That's definitely still something that's in works. And I think honestly, that'll be something I always work at because it's going to change as you as a person continue to define who you are.
Right.
Because you'll never just be able to look at yourself and be like, that's who I am.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to continue to change. But for me, it's been surrounding myself with people who are like-minded, people that I can have these conversations with, that backboard, it's super good to have. And then it's finding the balance and the dichotomy between my family and the things that I love to do.
Yeah.
You know, like we mentioned when I walked in here, I've been hunting every day since September 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 99% sure every day.
Yeah.
It's probably getting a little bit
Yeah.
swaying on the wrong
Yeah.
side of the balance towards my family.
Right.
But that is where I recenter myself now. You know, the gym workouts, they're concise, they're for a purpose, they're built. My food is precise for a purpose, for it's built.
Yeah.
The time that I get away from that is my time in the mountains and when I enjoy the hunt.
Yeah.
How I hunt, the way I hunt, what I'm hunting, and falling in love with nature. That's really where I find my balance and really what I would call loving myself, because that's when I get that moment, right? That's my drug these days. It was a little rougher this year in September because I couldn't push myself as hard as I like to. So now I'm still kind of feeling
I was going to ask you that because I almost had that taken away this year as well.
Yeah.
You know, and last year it wasn't, I mean, I still got to hunt, but it was really, really hard because I had both those tendons torn. And a lot of my value is in my ability to move my body and explore. And that also can be taken away from us.
Yeah.
And so I think that I want to help kind of like, how maybe do we backstop that, you know, for you and I and Tyrel is how do we backstop that self-care? Because if our self-care is always, I'm going to go climb 4,000 feet of elevation and go 20 miles deep, that kind of self-care is going to go away, right? My daughter was dancing last night for an old person's home, and they're all in their wheelchairs or their walkers, and they're sitting there with canes, and I'm going, I don't know that I could live like this in here. I would have a really hard time keeping myself wanting to wake up in the morning, you know? And we don't, thank God we don't have to go there yet. But I think that's still like, and I'm only kind of picking on you because I do the same thing. Like, it can't always be go climb the mountain and be 12 miles deep.
Yeah.
You know, it has to be, we got to find it someplace else, you know?
And I think that's where, when you find that group of people around you and you find the things outside of the self-punishment, if you will, that's where you got to find that good balance. Yeah. And it's a hard road to walk. And like I said, I don't think it's anyone that anybody will ever have 100% figured out. Yeah. Because even now, you know, I wore tennis shoes all hunting season. Yep. I couldn't fit my Crispies on. Like, I couldn't put them on. I couldn't wear them. Yeah. So I wore a pair of tennis shoes. And
me too.
It was just restricting and it was weird. Limiting and it sucked.
Yeah.
But I still found the time to do what I loved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't to the extremeness that I like, but it was a different satiation this year.
Yeah.
It was definitely more of a, well, you don't have to do it as hard as you normally would if you do it smart.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the young buck that can roll in there 20 miles deep with 40 pounds on his back and live off a Triscuit for 6 days. You know?
Yeah.
You can do damage in the woods and hunt just as hard as you normally would if you are smart.
Yeah.
And how to do it. So this year was kind of good for me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it kind of took me back a little bit, and I've spent more time focused on where elk live, where deer live, how to approach, how to hunt them in these areas that are high pressured, and how to find big animals, mature animals in those locations. So it's kind of fun for me, but the self-care and the self-love part is an evolving thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
well, you talked about giving back, and I think that's actually probably a really good answer. Is like, I think in the giving back, you find that like that really serves you as well. It really helps you love on yourself when you.
It definitely does. Yeah. And as much as I'd like to say it's a selfless act,
no, it's
self, like it is.
Yeah,
I do it
selfish.
because it makes me feel good.
But it feels good,
right?
And
like
it makes them feel good too. Like,
it feels good to do
thing.
things for other people.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's where I think there's a big misconception behind it. I think a lot of people get focused on like, oh, you just do it for the limelight or whatever it is. I'm like, no, it feels good to help somebody.
Yeah.
Like, go help somebody for no reason that you get zero return out of it. And that is better than any drug that you're ever going to do in your life.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's something we can always do, right?
Yeah.
We can always give back. And I think that's what we'll be, all of us will be there in 15 or 20 years.
Yep.
It'll be ours to then hand down, right? I think that's just it. It's like, it's time to pass it down. We can do a little bit ourselves, but for the most part, it's time to pass this thing down to that next generation.
It is.
Or the generation below us, right?
And that's why we focus so hard on outdoor youth education and outreach. Like, it is teaching the next generation what we have.
Yep.
Because ultimately, if we don't, honestly, there's a good chance hunting in the state of Colorado could end or be severely impacted in our lifetime.
Yep.
Not just our kids.
Yep.
You know, I've got 4 girls.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see them have these experiences. I want them to teach their kids how to survive in the woods.
Huh?
You know, and we always talk about the conspiracy theorists, but what if for some reason tomorrow all of this was taken away?
Yep.
How many people would be without heat in their house because they don't know how to start a fire or season firewood or
Yes.
fish
Yeah.
or tell the difference between poison ivy and
Yes.
alfalfa?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
How many people would not survive? And that's where we have to focus on building and rebuilding that connection with what we have all around us.
And you can only learn that by being handed it.
Mm.
That's one of my favorite things. I've said it 50 times on this podcast, but I'll keep saying it. It's like the most beautiful part of this is that you can only get it by being gifted it by somebody else that can teach you how to do it. And so if we're all lucky enough to have somebody in our lives that can teach us something like that, it's great. And so, well, we've used up all of our time and probably our listeners' time as well. And so, Kaleb, thanks for coming out, dude. What a great conversation. We'll have to have you back again. I think we're gonna change the format a little bit of the studio here to have a little bit more of like a 4 or 5 person panel if we want. And I think it would be really fun to get you and Joe and kind of your crew in and just having, I don't know, man. I keep thinking, are we just gonna have another hunting conversation? But every time we do it, I go, this was wonderful.
Yeah.
I loved it, and I don't know, hopefully everybody else likes it as much as I do, because I love these conversations. I love the stories. And Tyrel, for God's sakes, if you can get that video of that eagle pushing that deer off.
It's amazing.
Now you have to.
Well, yeah, you put it in the universe.
I did. So
Doesn't match.
You get to edit everything out anyway. So I mean, you could just,
yeah, you can just edit anything that talked about me having you post a video. You can
That's
just take
true.
it out. All
just
right, guys.
edit me in there like a Mongolian guy. Make it look like that eagle.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Okay, now you started something, because we all want to be that. How bad do you want to be that guy just running a horse 100 miles an hour with an eagle on your arm?
Wearing a Marco Polo Rams fur
Right.
for a coat.
Exactly. Like,
Yes.
no
Yes.
more awesome. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conan the Barbarian style
Yep.
all day long.
Absolutely.
Just less accent than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, they can speak
more
better.
clothes.
That's what it was good.
And more clothes.
Yeah, for sure. All
Yeah,
right.
man. I
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks.
the opportunity.
Caleb,
boys.
yes.
It's been fun.
Thanks for making the
It was
time.
really fun.
Yeah, we appreciate you, and thank you everybody thank you everybody for listening. You don't need to edit that out, Tyrel. They need to know that I'm not
I like
perfect.
that, yeah.
You know what I mean?
We
Yeah.
know, but it's good to remind you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks to everybody out there. We love you guys a ton. We appreciate you, family, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, man.
Be good.
Sounds good, boys. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Ooh, lolly,